Oh, hello. And we're... Oh, hold on. Yeah, this is that song that sounds like proper Final Fantasy style. What a rip. I love it. This is my first stream. Well, welcome, B-Bush. Bam, 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 bam. Da, 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 da. God, it really is like the Final Fantasy 8 or Final Fantasy 9 like battle theme, isn't it? But it's not. It's just stolen, I feel like. This is from an artist called Dragon Tamer. It's called Baldra's Castle. Before that, we played Conquest. I've just been sending notes back to Owen and Apo for my character for Pantheon SMP. A few final little tweaks and changes for the aesthetic of my character, if you would like. I realized that yesterday on stream that I'd said that I'd shown it to Draz, and apparently I hadn't, so I've sent him through the most recent iteration of said character, which is good. But anyway, hello, hi, how are we doing? I promise I'm not wearing the same shirt as yesterday. I'm wearing the Gomu Gomu no! I'm wearing the One Piece one. So check it out. I'll go over here for it. Where is it? Oh, I am. There you go. It was the other cool shirt I got. The other cool shirt. So, the premise, the purpose of today's live stream is we're going to sit down and we're going to watch the Bannerfall SMP panel because I wasn't able to attend in person. And I thought maybe that'd be quite fun to watch together. Maybe I'll have my own little tidbits and quips and things to add to the conversation. Obviously, they're not going to be able to participate with me, but I can throw in my perspective on certain topics maybe. And I thought that could be quite fun. And then afterwards, we can have a little natter about Pantheon SMP. Probably not all that much because the project is still quite a ways out and, you know, there's nothing to be said really. But we could maybe like have a little dabble in some Hades or something like that. Or maybe we play some Mina the Hollower because that's something that I've been, I was playing whilst I was away on the trip as well, which is pretty good. But yeah, aside from that, all good. I went to the gym this morning. Kind of regret going to the gym. It was a brutal It was a brutal one. It was hard because my legs are still like hurting from the football match the other day. It's normally 2 days after you do something intense when the pain is at its highest, and then I decided to go to the gym today, so yeah, not good. My legs were not happy about it. But weirdly, I think it, I mean, not weirdly, I knew it would help to some extent because I was working them and trying to loosen them up and stuff, so it has helped, but it was misery in the moment, you know what I mean? We read Percy Jackson live on stream, but Martin reads it in his head. We could do like a little read-along stream. That could be fun. There are... How many Percy Jackson movies are there? Are there 2? Obviously, the movies aren't going to be, you know, a good representation of whatever the books were, but just kind of generally going to be taking in that kind of media for a little while. Don't watch the films? Okay. Well, good. I will... On Disney Tuesday... Oh, there's a show. Is the show any better than the movies? Watch the show, not the movies. Okay, not the movies, please. No, God, no. Okay, right. It's a consensus that I'm not going to watch the movies then. Good. I can work with that. That's... The movies are a bad rep. All right, cool. Maybe, I mean, it could be down to a matter of opinion, but I'm cool either way. That's fine. There is actually a YouTube video that I have been wanting to watch, which is like a very quick 12-minute summary of the gods. So maybe we can watch that after we watch the Bannerfall SMP panel. So let me pull that up, actually. So it's on the MCYT highlights channel. Let me pull this bad boy up. Repeat once. There we go. Where is it? Bannerfall SMP. Also, let me grab the YouTube chat URL. We can punch that into here so I can see YouTube chatters. Hello, Sophie Gordon. I see you hanging out in there. What's going on, dude? All right, perfect. Let's go for the panel. So we'll watch the panel. We'll watch that little mythology video. And then we'll just sort of take it from there, which I think will be fun. Bannerfall panel. Where is it? There it is. Found it. All right. Let's go for it. I reckon we don't even do any preamble. It looks like they nailed it on the time, by the way. It's 1 hour and 47 seconds. They were good panelists and got in there in time. In fact, is there an ad we can run before that? So we can straight up just watch the whole thing with no interruptions. Why are we on the Minecraft category? Because we are watching a Minecraft SMP panel. If it was enough to give you an emerald at TwitchCon, it's good enough for a category on Twitch. That's the way I'm seeing it. What was I going to do? Ads, that was it. Let's run 3 minutes of ads. When we're back, we will have no ads on the channel for literally like an hour, if it will let me run these ads. Let's see. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? Is it going to work? I think it might work. Could possibly work. There we go. Nice. Okay, the ads are going to run for a couple minutes, and then everybody will be back, which will be lovely. I'm trying to think what we can do while we wait. I tell you what, actually, maybe if I fire up, probably by the time I even launch it, there's not going to be enough time. Ba-da-bum bum, ba-da-bum bum, ba-da-bum bum, bum bum. Nice. Let me find it. MCC Island. I was just going to quickly do the Parkour Warrior Dojo for the day. Did you ever end up listening to Epic the Musical in the end? I didn't. So is it a purely auditory thing, or have people actually done it as like a stage show? Like, is there like a recorded version of like the performed version of it? I don't really have much context as to what Epic the Musical is, really. I'm obviously, given the context of this conversation, it must be about that. Is it available to listen to or watch along? Let's have a look. Has somebody like taken all of the animatics people have made and like just spliced them together? Because that would be pretty cool as well. Oh my god, there is as well. 2 hours and 22 minutes. Holy shit. 14 million views. Maybe we watch this one day on stream. Especially if it's like a bunch of animatics as well. That'd be sick. Okay, maybe we consider doing that. All right. All right. You've convinced me. I think that could be a fun thing to do. I think that'd be nice. I'm trying to launch up MCCI. Although, to be honest, by the time we've done that, I reckon the ads are probably coming to an end, right? There's a minute 15 remaining. I'll leave it. That's fine. Sweet, got it. Oh boy, what else have we been doing today? Oh, you know what, actually, just while we're here, I mean, I know some people are in the ads and stuff. Firstly, happy Pride Month. We didn't say that yesterday when we were back. I think we were just straight into storytelling and stuff. But I wanted to talk about my flag, because it was something that came out a couple years ago now, right? Like, it was a couple years ago that we sort of came out with it. And at the time, like, I got Scott's help with, like, kind of finding a label and stuff like that. And had that label for, like, a couple years. And then all of a sudden, like, last year, there seemed to be some, like, friction and some tension around the label that I chose, and people sort of voicing their disinterest. So I've not really had to discuss it since. But let me see if I can find it. There it is. So, if you don't know, basically the sort of the label that I went with was gynosexual, which was basically a broad term for describing an attraction to femininity or the female anatomy. This is like me just reading Google verbatim at the minute. But the part of it which, like, I get, it says, like, while it covers women and feminine presentations, it sometimes carries older anatomy-focused baggage that some in the community find outdated, or it says potentially transphobic as well. I don't think it's transphobic, but I think it's an unnecessary call-out to the way a person's made. Does that make sense? But then what's been put in front of me and sort of suggested to me is finsexual, which is pretty much the exact same thing, but just really flat out just like feminine in nature, which I think is always, I think even if you go back and watch my conversation about it, it was always very much just like feminine in nature, that energy, that vibe, that kind of presentation. And I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. And that completely takes away from, you know what I mean? Like, that completely removes the conversation about anything that is happening in any areas of the body or whatever. It is just purely, like, I guess really, it reads more like a vibe check. And, like, you know, this is anybody who is sort of, like, feminine in nature, whether they are non-binary, you know, whatever gender assigned at birth and whatever, you know, they identify as now. It's just kind of having that femininity, I guess. And that, you know, that for me is the thing. So I'm wondering if it's easier moving forwards to just change to that. I say change, it's the same. Like, I think when I was looking up earlier on, it was like, you've not actually changed your attraction, it's just you're just using different wording to convey it. And the flag is so feminine, it really is. Yeah. So the flag, or at least the flag that I can see coming up mostly, is kind of like this one, right? It's kind of like the pink, the rose, or I guess it's not rose, but slightly lighter, and then this kind of like beige color. Like, but I don't know which one exactly it is, but yeah, it's just a better way to explain feelings and preferences. So if I happen to get chosen to play in MCC Pride, I'm sure there's going to be questions and stuff surrounding that. So maybe we go with that. Maybe we lock that in. You know what I mean? Because, you know, what triggered that thought for me actually was somebody tweeted today, I want to say, or maybe I saw it today, but maybe they tweeted yesterday. But somebody tweeted saying, like, they were explaining my preference to their partner or their boyfriend, and their boyfriend was like, "Oh yeah, that's me. That's the thing that I do." You know, that's sort of my preference as well. And it was just sort of interesting seeing someone discover that just through talking about something else. So yeah, so there you go. So maybe going into this MCC Pride, or just generally this Pride Month, we go with finsexual. I think the thing with gynesexual is that it obviously puts an emphasis on, like, you know, anatomy, but also it's kind of like an older, kind of more medical leaning word. Whereas finsexual, like, from what I can see and what I've read up about it, and I've only been researching this like over the last 24 hours, but seems to be the word kind of sprouted up and around the internet in around about 2015-ish, and has been, you know, sort of adopted in the past decade, and everybody seemingly is okay with it from what I can gather. I've not seen any you know, Reddit posts or comments being like, being upset with the phrase, whereas I have for the other label. So there you go. I thought I would just vocalize that, and if people come in during Pride Month or whatever else, we can, I guess, just rock and roll with that. So, yeah. Financial attraction. I mean, there is an element of that as well. I do like money. I do like money. In fact, no, I would go as far as saying I love money. I love money. But yeah, there you go. Finsexual, I think fits me, and I think it removes kind of that only friction or kind of abrasion point that it had for some people. So I'm like, yeah, that works for me. So there you go. All good. Happy Pride, everybody. Happy Pride. Right. Let's Bannerfall panel it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Are we ready to watch the Bannerfall SMP panel? Let me close out this, and we'll close out this, and we'll consider watching Epic the Musical in a few days. Let's rock and roll. I don't know how much I'll interrupt this, but I think I'll just be reacting with you guys in chat as well as doing this. I do wonder whether it's actually up on the Twitch channel, because it'd be interesting to see the Twitch chat as it was in that moment, but I don't know whether the VODs have saved. Past broadcast. No, 7 months ago. Why aren't they streaming this thing out? So were these panels really... I mean, it looks like they went out live, but then they didn't save the VODs. How strange. All right, anyway. Let's get into it. Bannerfall SMP panel. Let's see what I missed. Oh.
Welcome to Bannerfall SMP, the panel. It's very exciting to have you here. We're joined by...
Okay, I'm glad that Owen also had the issue with, like, microphone pop.
A whole slew of guests from various different kingdoms, representing various different classes. And we've got
I can only assume that this panel was, like, a sellout, right?
A couple of
everybody was
interesting,
in there.
different things that we haven't tried before in a panel. And so we're just going to launch right into it.
Things.
So... here that we are. Let's go ahead and give a quick introduction. We'll start from...
Also, I saw somebody on socials pointing out that Owen's like kind of jewelry was a bit of a teaser towards Pantheon. I didn't 100% know what it was, but they seemed to recognize it and was like, oh, that's, you know, that was a cheeky little nod before they played the trailer.
And work our way down. If you just say who you are, what your class was, and what kingdom you are from.
Hello, I'm Apakuna, and I was the Moon Knight from the Red Kingdom. I might have been blue, but I am wholeheartedly very red.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
Hello, I'm Katie, Lady Katie the Brave, and I was a knight on the Red Kingdom, also like former Blue Kingdom, I suppose. So yeah.
I'm Nominal. I was the Oathbreaker Knight from Blue Kingdom, and I was the better sibling.
Yes, good start. Good start.
I'm 4C. I was the slime rogue. Do I even say what kingdom? Because I was kind of like bouncing around both of.
Bro, you were blue.
Bouncing around.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. But yeah, Red Kingdom, I guess.
Boo.
I'm May Mazes. I was the rogue of the best kingdom, the Blue Kingdom.
Debatable. Man, I'd have been such a problem if I was on this panel. I'd have been throwing hands so fast.
Thank you.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Luann. I played Kitty, the cat rogue, and I was red, but I basically got adopted by Blue. So.
I was a knight in the Blue
Kingdom. You could just do whatever they wanted.
I was Owain, even though I was wearing all red. I was strongly a part of the Blue. How did we do that? That was...
I don't know, man. It happened to
We
me
did
too.
not plan that ahead of time.
Yeah, no clue.
Yeah. I also want to just take a moment
Never
to
thought
appreciate
about that, actually.
May is completely like face card mogging us.
Hey guys.
So you did the
we're
same
all
thing at the
animated
Cowboy
cats.
SMP panel, by the way.
Sorry?
You did the same thing.
Yeah.
Come on, Twitch staff, put the fucking panel up on the screen. You've literally pointed at the screen and said face panel.
It's a fun little trick.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a look back.
That's what I would love one year. I would love if on the controller there was a button we could press to control whether the stream is seeing the camera or whether it's seeing the slideshow.
Memory lane.
Maybe that'd be
to
too
see
much for
of
some
our
people,
favourite
but I
moments,
personally would love
from
that.
Bannerfall SMP. Oh, we forgot to remove that. I don't know what that fifth one is. I guess we'll have to...
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that.
Let's go.
We'll skip past that. So here is a short trip down memory lane.
Oh, no.
I never sent clips for this. I'm assuming there'll be nothing from my POV, but yeah.
Oh, no audio.
Oh, no.
In hell, Forsey. The lesson I wanted to teach you is that ultimately, I have the final say.
See, I never saw this. I've still not actually done the rogue, like the parkour hell thing. I think it's in the plugin, like the Bannerfall plugin. It exists in there.
There she goes.
Yeah, maybe you don't jump off the arena. That's hard to get back up.
She doesn't remember where the invisible blocks start and just like falls to the side. Like that.
Very good.
Never back down, never what?
This is the one.
Gone.
This is the one. This is the one.
Oh! Ouch!
Me.
Game over. 4K in one turn.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
I'd leave.
Done.
I'd leave as well.
I'm done.
I don't know why
I did that.
I feel someone must find Shan.
Yes,
I'm
I
worried.
think I will take the stairs.
Oh.
Wow, she survived that. No way. Oh, now she's dead.
No way!
It is a good day to be on Bannerfall. Nothing shall go wrong today. It is just another day. Who the hell are you?
Oh, I've seen this one.
Wait, you don't take fall damage, right, Forsy?
Perfectly cut screams.
Whee! Oh my god, I know.
I can just come back.
I don't know.
That's also a very good clip.
Oh, it is I, the necromancer. Where are ye? Hold on, I'm astral projecting right now. Let me lower my body. Where the hell are you?
We are trapping someone.
Oh,
We are
Shan's
trapping
water
someone.
bubbles.
Go to the corner and like go.
I loved it.
No!
That's brutal. Oh, Mike.
Their beds are pushed together.
What do you think this means?
Surely those beds belong to Sir Beck and the Swan, right?
Well, if I use my context clues, Gracie and Shan's beds are also pushed together.
Oh.
What does that mean?
That they're roommates.
In case there is an intruder, she sleeps against the wall.
In your sleep, you must have accidentally pushed the bed close.
No, it's always been this close. You're doing really great. I can see the gears turning, and I'm very proud of you.
No. So you sleep here. And then Shan sleeps here.
You got it.
You do nights and Shan sleeps days. Yes, this makes sense now.
We're getting so close.
Very logical.
Are we all not animals?
Yes, I think so.
What animal would you be? Me? Yes.
A woman.
Oh, I feel like I saw this on maybe even TikTok today, actually. This whole bit where Kitty just kept saying human towards Beck, like over and over again, but like over the course of like the whole SMP.
Well, we are animals of a sort, I suppose.
Yes, I suppose, yeah.
She was a swan.
Oh crap!
Why were you water? Why were you water?
Damn.
It worked. It worked. That frog.
Oh, we're done.
Visible.
My trap. It worked. My trap. It
Didn't
worked.
this always kill them?
Because he ate mice for half of it.
Whoa.
Are there any mice left?
The last I had heard was that Rogue got someone, I think another Red member, to dispatch it.
I'll investigate. Thank you for this information.
What a snitch!
You were dismissed.
Maybe find.
You took the hand of my daughter? Wait.
What the hell are you doing here?
Nothing.
I've found this prisoner. I found her. She was sneaking around in the wall within our walls. I will escort her to the jail now.
I'm doing my Dance Revolution. Same.
Classic.
Are you ready? Yeah.
Oh, this was good. Both of them forcing each other upwards.
Okay, just aim off
That
a
was
little bit.
sick.
We're sorry.
That was like a day 2 thing they were doing that.
There's not a star in heaven that we can't reach.
Wait, how high can we go? How high
I
can we
think
go?
forever.
And I just dip my hands in.
I don't think you should do that. No! Oh, this isn't good.
Oh dear. Right,
anyone
figure out where this goes.
Oh, anybody have water bucket?
You guys need to
Just
figure out
jump.
how to get down without water.
I'm going to
You
take
guys
full
tell
damage
her.
and die again. But it wasn't really
No, you don't. Look, you can fall this far. Look, nothing happens. Constantly Katie just getting absolutely launched. I can't tell who's singing there. Is that Cherry or... Is it Cherry or Katie?
That's what I wanted to say to you.
It's Katie. Okay, gotcha. I thought it was Katie because it started to sound like Toad, and I was like, oh, I think that's where it goes.
And there we have it. There we go. Those are the best moments.
Damn. Yeah, I wish I'd sent some clips in for that.
Much.
I was going to say...
But I feel like a lot of my moments are often just me appearing in other people's POVs, so it's really hard to find those compared to usual. Have I seen Katie singing Screw the Nether? I have, yes, I have seen that.
That's the first time that I've watched that montage and been like, let's just do it again immediately. Like, that was... Appa, well done for editing that. That was really well put together.
Yeah, I really enjoyed looking at that for like 20 hours straight. That was... Yeah, it was beautiful.
A lot of accidental death I'm seeing. Like,
thank you, Katie, for providing that.
Yep, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice that almost every clip I was in, I was killing one of my friends.
I wonder why.
Look, stop being so killable, like in particular.
Hello, we're supposed to be siblings. I feel like you.
With love, though. With love.
Okay, right, sure.
With love, though.
We're going to jump into some group questions now. An opportunity for us to kind of get a little bit more of an insight
group
into
questions.
the
I'll answer my question how I would have answered it if I was there.
And the cast playing them. We're basically going to ask a question and go all the way down, and then we'll come all the way back up again. So one of the first questions that we have is, were there any concepts or ideas for your character that you didn't end up running with? And we're going to kick it off with you.
Ooh, any concepts or things that I wanted to do with my character that I didn't end up doing? I don't think so. No, I think I kind of hit... I went in with just like weird guy. I went in with like strange dude. I guess if anything, yeah, like having maybe a little bit more rapport with the Creaking King or having some kind of beef with the Creaking King would have been a pretty good idea. I wasn't aware that the big ginormous heart was going to be beneath the Forgotten Kingdom that whole time. I think as far as I was aware, that was like from day one. That's the whole reason the Forgotten Kingdom was there. The heart was always going to be beneath it. So me building a casino on top of it and subsequently trying to rebuild the town because I started to fear the Creaking King. Like we kind of dipped a toe in that pool, but I felt like maybe more could have happened there. But I think it was so late in the SMP that we didn't have enough time to run those narrative beats, or it would have taken too much work. And by that point, like Sausage and Nom were already kind of like in cahoots with the Creaking King. They'd already sort of taken on some of that power. But no, I feel like Frog did what he needed to do. Had maybe we done the Ren and Alistar cameo earlier, maybe I would have stuck around as Alistar for a bit longer or something like that. That could have been quite fun to do. Not having both players on at the same time, but geez, yeah.
No.
Oh, great.
No.
That was quick. Next.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no. I actually came up with my design while I was on a plane. I think over to the States. I made the design October 21st, 2025. I have the exact date. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something cat themed this time because of course I am.
I can't remember when the SMP started.
I went with it. There was no other concept on my mind, unfortunately, for you guys.
I had the idea right away of the kind of rogue that I wanted to be. Very like
I tell you
trickster.
what, actually, thinking about it now that May's talking, doing more with May would have been fun. I think that was the thing. I think there were more things that I would like to have done, but time zones just weren't permitting. So having a bit more of a back and forth with May, like I wish the window between the Masquerade Ball and the finale was larger and that we had some more time to cross over. I guess actually the big one was the Rogue Guild. I'd say the Rogue Guild, the Road Den, if you will. Because we were told out of character, if you build a Rogue Den, we'll give each of the rogues another skill point. And we just never did it. And we really should have done because, you know, that would have been one, really cool. We maybe would have had some more unique interactions and also another skill point to just do even more climbing or hiding in plain sight. So yeah, the Rogue Den could have been pretty cool. The Blue Kingdom did? What? They built a Rogue Den? How dare they? Me and Kitty didn't make one. Oh, man.
Very like cocky, confident.
It was Forsey and May, so the Blue Kingdom did it. I thought it was supposed to be a thing where we're all together because rogues are never really fully aligned with any kingdom. We're all independent. That was the vibe that I took from it, at least.
that
A
changed
Rogue Alliance
very
would have been cool,
quickly
though. Yeah, that would
because
have been
I
fun.
realized that you can only play a character as good as you are at the game. So very quickly I had to kind of pivot into that, but her personality and the design of her was the same, but I was definitely going to be a little bit cockier and thought that I was going to be a little bit better than I was.
You did great. For my character, I originally went into this with like a whole, like it was this similar idea, but there was a lot of steps involved because I knew from the start that I wanted to switch kingdoms, but it was trying to make that happen.
Interesting.
So originally I was going to have my character be a lot more evil because I thought their kingdoms were going to be a lot further apart from each other. And I was like planning because I was like, they're so far apart. I want to be able to interact with both kingdoms in a fun way. So I remember like before the server started, I was like messaging Katie. I was like, we could do like a whole thing where you try to like convince me to join the Red Kingdom and like kidnap me or something. And then I make tunnels under the Blue Kingdom and lead you guys in without them knowing. And I did do that, but I didn't end up
And
doing
also we
the
had the
same
sewers as well,
level of
which was
evil
the
as I
problem.
was planning.
I got lucky enough that most of the stuff I wanted to do with Bannerfall Nam, I was able to, but a main sort of point was actually during the Lagundo cameo. My character would have been a lot more evil if he chose Red Kingdom, because there was a plan that I was going to give you Obsidian, bar the door, and permakill Lagundo if he chose Red Kingdom.
Wow, that's crazy.
So that never ended
Damn.
up happening, and that would have led the
To be honest, Frog nearly considered doing that. I'll be real with you. I guess I got my own back in the Harpy train when we did that kind of like Bannerfall, AU stream.
Different stuff, I imagine.
From the start, basically, me and Nom decided that we were going to be siblings. We kind of floated the idea around, and then we got on call. We were like, "What? We were siblings?" They were like, "Wait, hang on a second. This could work really well." And initially, I was going to be angrier at him, and I was going to be a lot more bitter about the fact that he was doing way better than my character as a knight. But then we got on the server on day one, and we just started riffing back and forth, and it was just bantery, and it wouldn't make sense for me really to be angry at him at all.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I wanted to do like a Lapis Lazuli kind of character from Steven Universe at some point, where she was kind of like trapped in a mirror for a really long time, or like some kind of object, and popped out of that and would have been a knight. But I didn't really end up going with that because I did a really cool duo character, and that was really fun. So yeah.
I think for Owain, I didn't leave any concepts at the door, but I definitely didn't lean as heavily. There was a certain theme. I won't go into it now. Some of you have already probably picked up on it. The cat o' nine tails on the end of his sword were not for decoration and not for attacking his opponents. And I think going into it, we'd been telling everybody, like, this is going to be a very light-hearted SMP. It's going to be very jovial and fun. And then, like, a few days before, I was like, I actually don't think I can lean as heavily into what I'm about to do as much as I was going to. So then it was just all sort of, like, very heavily implied, but never, like, outright said, which was probably for the best. I also want to touch on, Forsey, what you said. You mentioned, like, you always knew you wanted to change kingdoms. I think in our first meeting, Scott was like, so, like, what's the deal with, like, changing kingdoms? And I think we were both like, absolutely not. Do not do it. We really want people to like stick to whatever kingdoms they end up like being put in, because it will just otherwise get really messy with everyone jumping around. And then I think you messaged a few days later being like, here's my pitch, big plan.
And the only reason why it worked was because we had Luann as well wanting to change kingdoms too. And I think our caveat was like,
I think what kind of helps as well is the fact that they were rogues. I think for them, oh fuck, I've just rewound it by accident. I dropped my bottle on the thing. But I think it works specifically for rogues because they're always slightly less allegiancy, you know what I mean?
I thought I knew from the start that I wanted to switch kingdoms.
Jumping around. And then I think you messaged a few days later being like,
hit Luann as well wanting to change kingdoms too. And I think our caveat was like, if you could get somebody else from the other kingdom to change sides as well, then sure, you can do that plot point.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want it to be uneven, especially during the first kind of like concept of Bannerfall, whenever it was going to be like very clearly one side dies, one side lives.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll have to touch on that a little bit. About
we'll have to touch on that. Yeah.
How the finale changed. But I'm glad you did do it, because I think that was an example of how like sometimes Pal goes in with like a preconceived idea of how the show should go, and then the cast have a different idea, and what they do is often better than what we were going to pitch anyway.
Yeah, people.
And the fact that they aren't precious about what they're precious about what they've made and they care for it, but they aren't stubborn about what they've made, I think is a big testament to Owen and Apo as well, because they are always so willing to yes and, or try and make things work within the confines of the world. And it's never a no, you can't do that. Sometimes it's a we actually have something planned that already touches on that, or this is the reason why it wouldn't work, and they then come with like all like suggestions and like, you know, alternate things we can do that would like fit in, or they'll find a way to loop you into like the wider lore, like the wider story. I think kind of like me in the finale, I'd been quite a solitary creature through the whole thing, and yet a lot of it fell on my shoulders to communicate the most pivotal piece of information to save the day. And that was just, again, happenstance. I happened to be in the right place, the right time for it to come together.
Beloved Forsey.
Broke the hero.
Maced.
That's it.
Yeah.
I would do it again.
Do you want to kick us off with the next
Right.
question?
Katie, who is someone you wish you did more lore with or like interacted with more?
I think Scott was one of the people who I basically found out post Bannerfall ending is that we literally didn't really interact in character until the end when Nom died. So that was kind of an awkward thing for our characters to basically be in lore together at the same
Spoilers,
first
dude.
time when he dies. It was a pretty awkward kind of introductory thing. So maybe Scott, I think that could have been a fun thing to do because our stories ended up being so intertwined. Yeah.
For me, it was definitely Sausage. I wanted to do so much more with the Creaking duo, and it just time never managed to work out.
Yeah.
Also, as a side thing, me and Gracie never got a final talk whenever my character was dying, and I'm so sad about it. But it wasn't meant to be, I guess.
You were running out of time.
Literally. I had a giant counter on my screen.
I feel like for me, like there was a lot of times where I was thinking like, oh, I need to wrap up these like interactions with people because I started a story, like Nam was saying with Gracie, and I wanted to finish these conversations. And it's hard because time zones, there's not always times where people are free and they're not always around. And
Also, as well, I don't think you always have to wrap up every story. I like leaving some plot threads open-ended. I mean, even look at the Me and May one. Like, Me and May had that sort of realization and acknowledgement of each other, and it was like I purposely was like, I'll speak to you in the morning, or I'll speak to you in the days once you're past this kind of thing. And I like leaving it open-ended so that myself and you guys and whatever else can explore those stories later on. You can write your own write your own pieces about what those interactions look like, or I've been doing it a bit more now recently because it gives me something that I can use as a basis for doing a one shot or a small campaign of for something tabletop. Maybe it's fun leaving some loose ends, but without, you know, making anything feel too forgotten, I suppose.
like I feel like I wish I could have spoken to more of the Red Kingdom and had more time.
I think it works better for an open ending. It makes the world/story feel a lot bigger. It does, because it makes it feel less like a construct. It makes it feel less like a show and more like you've just had a window into this world. You know what I mean? It makes it feel like it always existed and it always will, and we've just been granted vision into a certain passage of time. And that makes it feel more real to me when things aren't just like A, B, C, D. It's like A, B, C. I wonder what D is. And maybe there was stuff before the alphabet. You know what I mean?
But honestly, like the two people that I really wanted to like wrap up stories with, that I like had set up like banter with and like never finished it because I left the kingdom, was Owen and Eloise. And it was crazy because on the last day of Bannerfall, I wrapped up both of those plots with them. And so I was very satisfied with the ending.
The person who I would have loved to do so much more with is Martin.
Oh, that's cool.
He and I have spoken about this afterwards. We had a long conversation of kind of what our characters would have done. And I think you guys got a lot of pieces of it. And we kind of told our story through our minimal interactions. And there was a really beautiful arc there. I just think there could have been so much more done, especially with the rivalry that we set up. We never had a plan going into that.
Nope.
My tadpoles, having those tadpoles in the very beginning was literally just like, oh my gosh, Martin, you should have tadpoles in your inventory. And he was like, no. And I was like, can I have tadpoles in my inventory? There was no reason for me to have them. And so then I was going to forcefully make him a father and just like give him the tadpoles, but then he stole them from me. And then I was upset that he stole them from me, even though he was supposed to have them all along. So it just turned into a rivalry from the very beginning. And then our time zones never aligned, and then we became monarchs at the same time, and that was really cool. We had a couple really good interactions there, but then we kind of faded out. But then at the very end, we did have kind of like a concluding conversation. The ball set something up really nice where I gave him a flower and he gave it back to me at the very end. And he was the one person who kind of came after me after this one left me behind. And he came after me and we kind of got to conclude that story. So it would have been lovely to expand on that more.
Yeah, I feel like it was less so a conclusion of that story and more just like a turning point of that story. There was that kind of like bitterness and sort of clawing at one another and frustrations, and then there was the softening, and then it's about what could have happened next, whether, you know, it could literally have been anything, whether we become allied, whether we go off adventuring, whether it was just a mutual understanding, or then it becomes a new common enemy, whatever it may be. It was like, it was a twist and change. It was a you know, that it was the end of a chapter as opposed to an end of a story, which I really liked.
I would have loved to interact more with Frog as well, mostly because our characters both kind of had similar themes of being turned into something we weren't originally.
Yes.
And I feel like we would have bonded a lot more. I tried to imply very heavily that Kitty does not judge Frog as much as others would, because like ultimately Kitty understood kind of like his the way he reacted and responded to things. But I also would have loved to interact more with Forsey, because obviously we had our whole like plan to switch sides, but also because I feel like our characters would have understood each other well as me and Frog, because we were both like outsiders in that way. And we both were like judged for certain reasons. So I thought that would have been a fun thing to explore more, but unfortunately time zones and all that. But
like in an ideal world, it would have been so cool to reveal the information of Frog being Kerowin, and then in the dream scenario, I would be able to go back to, or we could have like an SMP where we go back to Saluda, and then we do a thing where we are trying to like liberate or bring down Thornhelm. Like that to me would be really cool, and maybe that's where I could bring Kitty along for the ride, maybe even May as well, and a few other people from the Red Kingdom, and doing a Saluna Thornhelm almost as like a season 2 kind of thing. Could be really interesting, because we've got first-hand investment in that kingdom. I mean, essentially, that would then suddenly have us all working in the same kingdom. So any cast members that wanted to return from season 1 could. And then imagine we had an entirely new cast of members that were going to be in Thornhelm. Like, that would be so sick. Like, that would be really, really cool. Like, a Bannerfall world would lend itself really well to that kind of storytelling. It would be really, really cool.
yeah, that's it for me.
I think I would have wanted to have, we spoke a little bit Forsey at like really specific times. For somebody who was on that server 24/7, it was really hard to find you. I just never managed to like cross over you. And when we did, sorry?
How?
I don't know.
Because
you're a slippery guy. Yeah, I think like Owain and Forsey had this constant like unsettled beef between them, which like at the very end we got like a little bit of something, and it was nice enough, I think, to put it to bed. But like anytime that I found that you had done something like put a bunch of tunnels under the ground, Owain's like furious, and he's like, "We're gonna have a talk later," and then just never did. So that would have been nice to kind of like hit those moments a little bit more.
I wish I saw that sign.
Did you not even see the sign?
Not till after I was already gone.
Oh,
damn.
So how did you come up with the concept?
Wait, I wanna answer.
Oh, me? Yeah.
I want to.
Oh, no, go ahead. Yeah,
I do answer.
Oh, sorry.
I have three. I have 3 people. Forsey, that interaction on day 1 where I found you sneaking into like the castle or whatever, I wish we expanded more on that specific dynamic of.
You killed me.
How dare you?
Oh, you're one to talk.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Bro.
How dare
You're like the killer of the server, man. I don't know what you want to say. Anyways, yeah, I think it would have been fun to do more stuff with Forsey, but we just didn't interact as much. I think Gracie as well, we had like a really cool stream together, and I saw a lot of people kind of like connect to that, and I was like, maybe our characters could have done something really cool. And a third one was Owain, because I think both of them had like a very strong sense of duty, and every single time, I mean, our characters always beef, but I think it was like a very specific beef that could have kind of like expanded, and we kind of did. Partially because we just really wanted a duel at the end, but I think also partially because both of our characters were really cool. We gotta fight.
We really derailed the end of the like.
Oh, we did.
Everyone was like, "Stop fighting!"
I don't feel
bad.
I don't feel bad about it whatsoever.
No, I wanted that.
That was only because we just couldn't get an earshot of them. It would have been fine if we could have shouted to the 2 of them and said, "Hey, we gotta fix this stuff. get out here as soon as you're done with that fight. Don't go back in for a round 2. You're not doing best of 3 or anything like that. But it's the fact that we just straight up couldn't like get to them audibly.
Yeah, I did too. I did too.
So how did you come up with the concept of your character, all of you, starting with you, Kitty?
Oh, God. I mean, like I said, I'm going to chip in my answers for this. Mine simply was, Owen and Apo had said, you can play, kind of imagine D&D, you can play any kind of sentient, kind of non-human thing. Obviously, keep it within the realms of possibility for what you can convey in a Minecraft skin, because you're only going to be able to have the usual humanoid kind of shape. So I could have been like, you know, a draconic, and I could have been a tiefling, and could have been an elf and all that sort of stuff. And then they also followed it up by saying, and also, just like in Rats and in Pirates, if you want to have any custom hats, then feel free to do so. So that immediately for me got the gears turning, and I was like, oh, like maybe I could be what's the creature that like Mr. Tumnus is? I can't remember what they're called, a fawn, maybe? I considered being a fawn. There was a few different like kind of species from D&D that I went through. Maybe it's satyr, fawn, yeah. But there was a few that I went through in my head of being like, oh, I could maybe do that, and I could utilize the head or like the hat as part of that. And then I think where I was looking at the Daggerheart content, and one of the more unique species in Daggerheart was actually the what do they even call them in Daggerheart actually? What is the Daggerheart species? What do they call them? It's in Ancestries. Let's have a look. They call them ribbits. There you go. They had ribbits. And I'd very recently written ribbits into the story of the misadventures story that I had. So I was really sort of quite enjoying the frog stuff. And then that's when just the penny dropped, and I was like, oh my God, I can make big eyes. I can make big ginormous eyes. I can maybe make a big tongue. I can maybe even like make like a neck pouch, like, you know, like a big bulging neck thing, by utilizing Blockbench. And that's basically what I pitched to them, and that's what ended up happening in the end. I wonder if I can even scroll back through my like 1-to-1 channel and show some of like the earliest iterations of it. If I do has::image, here we go. So now, oh wait, can I do it for this channel specifically? How do you do that when you search? In specific channel, okay, so in the 1-to-1 channel, has image. Has image. Go on. Has image. Boom. All right, here we go. Let me go back through, and I can sort of show you some of the earliest things that I sent to them. Oh, is this where the conversation is? Maybe this is where the conversation is. Okay, yeah, this helps. Actually, I've got literally the beginning of my conversation with them. So I went through and told them some stuff that I wanted to do. And I mentioned about like being a frog guy. And I think actually I concepted a lot of this before even telling them what I wanted. So I actually made this much of Frog and the tongue before I even told them exactly what I wanted. It was good. So I said, are there any custom things I should know for the series? I'm doing some fancy things that might be reactive, so just want to check that I'm not going to clash with those. But that was like the first thing of Frog that I had. And then Owen replies going, OMG, that's insane. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I can add whatever you want commands wise. And he was like, do you want a special super jump ability, like a super frog, like a frog super leap? Which I don't think I ended up getting in the end. I just kind of had the typical robe vibes. And then that's when I was sort of trying to convey to them, like, this is the kind of fella that I'm thinking of. So he's much more humanoid in shape and size and stuff like that. And then, yeah, and then this is here where you can see like the first sketch, the first draft of Frog, which I love, by the way. I love seeing these like lines and stuff, but Frog came together so quickly from that. And then obviously you got the tidied up line work, and then there was the coming together of everything to do with Frog and like the hat and stuff. I wonder if I actually have my stuff to Hoffen, so you can see, kind of like in the artist panel, you can see what I sent to Hoffen. Yeah, here we go. So this is what I sent to Hoffen, and then you can then see what Hoffen managed to do to like fix it. So this is what I sent to Hoff, and this was one of my first attempts at making the top of the head, which is pretty cool. And then immediately Hoffen just managed to like tidy it up and make this beautiful looking like thing. I think I was just trying to go too big, too wide with it, trying to make too many smaller parts of it and stuff. But the flower was like really, really elegantly done. I don't even remember what this one is. I think this was me putting in blocks to make the bulb, I think is what that was. But yeah, there you go. I've not shown those off before. So that is the unique vibes of Frog and how Frog kind of came to be among all of this. So that was how I concepted my character. And then again, like I have in many projects recently, I don't go in with big narrative beats or stories that I want to tell. I just go in with like core values or motivators. So for me, one of my motivators was just trying to find somewhere to fit in, and trying to find a kingdom to live in and find like a home in was kind of the vibe of Frog. In addition to that was also just the thing of having a character trait of his being that he doesn't particularly like magic that much, kind of in maybe in like a similar way to like Jeremy in Dungeon Delivery. It's I was turned into this thing by a hag or whatever else it may be. And by the way, when I concepted this, I didn't know about Jeremy at this point. So I'm only comparing them in that regard, because I mean that stuff that I sent to Hoffen or Hoffen sent to me, that was all in April. April. I want to talk about January. So January 6th is when I sent Hoffen like the really bad head that you saw a moment ago. And then my initial concept to Owen and Apo was looks like it was around about maybe just before Christmas. Yeah. So sort of like the 15th of December is when we started concepting that, because I didn't know anything about Jeremy until we got into the series, which was fun. But yeah, so that was kind of the concept of the character. So it was less about what story I wanted to tell and me just wanting to do something mechanically fun with Frog, having him have these silly quirks with the eyes and just doing something with Blockbench, because I felt like in Cowboy SMP, I didn't do anything super unique, whereas in all the previous seasons, I've done the newspaper, the hats, the ears, the emotes, stuff like that. And I felt like Cowboys, I was really slipping, and I hadn't contributed anything unique. So it was wanting to get back onto that horse, kind of jump back on that saddle.
Guys, I just love cats, okay? I was like, oh, I want to be a cat, and like I know this like new SMP is kind of more like liberal.
Will forever find it funny you dropping lore on Sausage's stream over chat combo with him. Wait, what was that lore drop?
With like you can be not entirely human, but I was like, no, I don't want to be a cat girl. I want to subvert expectations a bit. So I was like, how am I going to do this? So I went the classic like plot line where XYZ gets turned into other thing. But I really like the idea of, instead of like a human being like transformed with a different animal, where like you have like, cat ears or like a tail maybe, which is a very common thing. I wanted to do something different where I basically have a cat try and learn how to be human, which I think paired very well with me.
Fun.
And
I liked Kitty's approach. It felt, I don't know, I guess it felt like something you could explore more. It wasn't just, oh, you're a tabaxi, get on with it. It was like, it was different.
My neurodivergency, it was really fun to play around with that and kind of explore how would an animal cope with learning how to be a human, and also like understand how there's like these two different sides that have massive beef when all she wants to do is catch mice and all that. But it was really fun.
But also on that note, I really liked how Luann's character explored trying to understand and almost ridiculing at times, like being polite and courtesy and manners and all that sort of stuff. All of these things that, like, in the animal kingdom, you do what you want, you take what you want. It's, big versus little, prey versus predator. And I liked that Luann's character was navigating that stuff as well. It caught me a few times where Luann was like, well, why do I have to do that? Like, you know what I mean? But also it meant that Luann's character also had so much more sincerity and had a lot of like kindness to give to others, because Luann wasn't ever looking for beef or a leg up or a reason. Like Luann's character was never trying to gain something. She was just vibing and existing.
to kind of role play, trying to learn like social etiquette
Oh, there you
and
go.
learn how
There you
to
go.
do math, which I'm already bad at, so that wasn't too difficult to do. But it was really fun to explore that, and I wanted the design to kind of make nods and references to like cat themes. Like her scarf is very long, and that's supposed to mimic a tail. And she has a feathered hat because, you know, cats love little feathers to play with. And that
Little?
was supposed to be a little cheeky nod.
By the way, I saw a few cosplays at TwitchCon with a feathered hat. Props on making that feather actually retain shape and like actually stick out rather than just like flopping down the side of your head. I don't know what you used to do that because they were long feathers people were making.
But yeah, that I really didn't have any other ideas, and I was very I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
I love reading fantasy, and I found out this concept of being in the medieval ages in a sense, and I really wanted to play into how women were treated in the medieval ages. So I did a lot of research and read a lot of articles. And when I was building my notion, I wanted to build it in a way that was cueing people in to kind of how my thought process works. So if you go on my Notion, you will find a lot of the articles that I kind of referenced. And
I need to do this. Like, I've noticed that a few people have done Notions and like really quite in-depth stuff. I remember before the Flight SMP, Gracie had so much stuff going on, and even like the diary entries in character and stuff like that. Maybe that's something I should consider for Pantheon.
Building her. And then further than that, I growing up was somebody who did feel very lonely. I grew up in ballet school. It was a eat or be eaten world, and people don't want to be your friend. And so there was a lot of feelings of inadequacy growing up. And I felt like having this platform to be able to share a story of not only the way that women were treated, but also the way that people can feel. Like I know how it feels. I know a lot of people in the community have said that they felt the same way or they feel the same way. And kind of getting to show the way that she finds family after all of the rough times, no matter what it was, through a wine, through 4C, and through Nom, and like she had people who genuinely loved her and cared for her, and like build up this confidence in herself to then by the end of this story, she was making her own decisions and she was jumping into things on her own. And I don't think she would have gotten there without the people around her. And I just wanted to kind of wrap that story up, showing that like no matter what chapter you are in your life, there's always another one.
Yep.
And there's always another opportunity. And if you haven't found your people yet, you'll find your people. And so it was a dual-edged sword of different.
It's so good that Bannerfall May feeling lonely thing kind of came around when Frog gave her the flower, and after the stream, Frog wanted to make her feel less lonely in that moment. Yeah, that was, yeah. And that was like, and that's when you can tell that other people are doing good storytelling, because the way that they are carrying themselves is easy to read, even just from an auditory standpoint. You know what I mean? Like literally all I could hear was May's voice, and there's very minimal body language you can convey with a Minecraft character. So the fact I was able to pick up what she was putting down is like testament to like her acting and stuff. You know what I mean? And also the way she conducted herself in character through the SMP.
Issues that I think are very prevalent in today's world that I just wanted to get to kind of touch on.
See, it's actually kind of funny when it comes to my character, because when I first joined the Bannerfall Discord and saw all the people there, they're like, you can be three things. You can be a knight, a mage, or rogue. And I thought about it. I was like, I've been a rogue many times on many different servers. And I was like, I could do that. I could pull it off, but I probably want to try something different, something I've never done before. And I was like, oh, you know, it'd be cool. I could find someone. I could be like brother in arms and be like knight brothers. And I thought that would be fun. And I send the message like, I don't know, I'm deciding between like knight and rogue right now. And then I think it was either App or Owen. They're like, well, we have no rogues, like at all. And I was like, well, I guess I got to do what I know. And so I was like, I'll just commit to it, I guess. And then I was speaking to Nam about this, and he was saying like, well, you could still do something like this. Like, I know you're doing the thing. Like, he knew that he was doing the sibling thing with Katie, but we found a way to like interweave it all together in a very cool way. So
I'm trying to remember what I think from the get-go I was I think I always considered being a rogue. I think as I do with everything, the football match the other day, any of the series that we do, whatever it is, I'm always happy to just be the gap filler. I think I get choice paralysis with a lot of stuff. And I think they told me the numbers at one point. I'm looking through our chat, but I can't find it. So it might have been in the 1-to-1 at like a later date. But yeah, from the get-go, I was just like, I will just go where there is space. I want to make sure that the cast and the world has like enough well-rounded. I don't want it to be weighted too far towards magic or knights or rogues. I was like, just put me where you need me. And that's kind of how I ended up on Frog. Like I would have happily been, you know, I guess he wouldn't have been called Frog. I probably would have given him a different name. But Frog just works so well as a pun. It was like a very happy accident with it.
Oh, Bannerfall Nam, the way he wasn't actually my first idea for the character. I had a completely different concept, which I can probably touch on a little bit more later. But honestly, the main thing, the development of Bannerfall Nam was I joined the Discord for the first time, was panicking, looking at all the cool people in it. And then I saw Kitty Go Bird join. I went, well, I know what my character's going to be. From that point, we got in one call, and then within, I think, like, what, 2 hours?
Yeah, it must have been.
Just shot so many ideas, and then the thing I love the most about my character, at the very least, I don't know if Katie feels the same, is I feel like it developed as it went. Like, I didn't go in with just a solid plan
Best way to do
start
it.
to finish. It developed naturally, which I loved a lot.
Yeah, I don't think we could have ever expected it to go the way that it ended up going. Like, we had a general plan going into it of stuff that would happen and, like, points we would hit. Like, I know at some point we were talking about me finding out about the oath break, but I don't think we ever anticipated what happened after that. And then also the ending as well. Never could have anticipated that.
Kind of like double barrels, the thing with, it kind of looks like Katie's trying to eat the microphone. It's quite funny then that if like Nom's whole thing was Oathbreaker, which I don't think I knew about, the fact that I, in a way, tested Katie's oath and gave her so much of a conflicted feeling of like, I'm supposed to protect the people, but I'm also supposed to serve the king. Like, she was kind of breaking an oath in one of two ways, and it kind of like forced her hand. So yeah, that's again another happy accident.
But yeah,
it was about halfway through that I went, I'm not living to the end of this, am I?
We so desperately wanted our characters to have a happy ending at some point, so we, alongside the audience, were just like, please let them be okay, let them have a relationship at the end of the day.
After every mainstream, we literally genuinely were like that, going like, they need a happy ending, please, please.
It was just slowly going down, and we were slowly having that realization sinking of, oh no. But yeah, it was just same here for me. We jumped in a call together. We were helping each other out with our character ideas, throwing stuff at a wall, hoping it sticks. And yeah, my character's quite close to how I am personality-wise. Very bubbly, very like jumpy, very outgoing. So yeah.
Also, the fact that like a good 100,000 people or whatever have just thought we're actually siblings somehow because
Crazy.
of Bannerfall.
That's funny.
It definitely helped with that dynamic.
Yeah, newsflash, if you don't already know, we're not actually siblings.
No.
He just takes the mick out of me
Yeah,
constantly.
she's just like that.
Okay, Abba, your turn.
Exhibit A. You feel like rogues were let down a bit in the world as they never really specifically needed to come into play as a class. Knights could blacksmith, wizards could heal and enchant, but rogues didn't have a passive purpose. Did they? I think their passive thing was that they didn't have mining fatigue, wasn't it? They didn't have mining fatigue in the other half of the kingdom, but I think where it became such a build-centric server, or at least there was so much polishing and refining of the world, like making tunnels probably would have been the only viable thing, because otherwise you would have kind of felt like you were griefing. But I think that's one of those things that, you know, you can't really know until you've got some hindsight. Maybe they could have added something partway through the season, but I think by the time we were in the thick of it, I don't think any of the rogues ever felt like they were particularly lacking in any kind of contributions. I think we certainly felt like we couldn't do things, you know what I mean? Like when I was on it, I was like, oh man, I'd love to have my, you know, gear enchanted. I was like, fuck, like can't do that unless somebody's on. I think Knights had it easiest because Knights would be able to, you know, create axes and do all this other sort of stuff. And they could just leave it in a chest. Whereas enchanting, it could only happen when somebody was online. Like, I guess you could have left a book and a request for what you wanted next to the piece of gear, but But yeah, it was, yeah, I agree with you somewhat, but it never felt detrimental to my experience.
All right. Well, I've always wanted to like play a knight character. It's been kind of on my mind for the past couple of years. And then I heard Cherry speak, and she was like very set on playing a princess character. And over time, I think actually one night she messaged me like, "Hey, let's just do a princess knight duo thing," and that kind of just worked out and everything. In terms of like the theming, I think we just kind of looked at like a bunch of images and stuff, and eventually just kind of like, oh, okay, okay, never mind. Okay, so Cherry did like the moon and night theming. My bad. But specifically something I wanted to touch on was because we were doing two kingdoms and stuff, Owen and I agreed that there couldn't be a royal character from the kingdoms in a sense, because that would like it would just be kind of difficult of like in terms of like the monarchy system and everything. So for a second, it was kind of like interesting on how we wanted to tweak everything and all that, and then we decided, oh, princess and knight from an alternate just like kingdom out in the distance and stuff, and that kind of like I feel like blew up the world of Bannerfall from just like these two red and blue kingdoms to now there's Saluna, and now there's I can't remember any other ones, but where Scott comes from, where Forsey comes from, and all that kind of stuff. And now like the whole like map exists and stuff, and I feel like it's a really fleshed out world, which is I think just like an interesting perspective of how like a confining rule set makes you have to like innovate and tell a new story that honestly I feel like ended up
was it actually called Wales Land?
Stuff. And
that's funny.
I think we ended up having more control over, because you can just be like, oh yeah, this happened in a kingdom over there. It didn't happen in this kingdom.
This kingdom goes to a different school. You wouldn't know.
Yeah, exactly. So we didn't have to like go to you and
my kingdom's my girlfriend. She lives in Canada. It's that kind of vibe.
Be like, Owen, is this okay? Does this work with the red and blue kingdom? So yeah.
I was doing a lot of research about Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur kind of vibes, and then I was like, oh, I kind of also want to like maybe play a Welsh character. This would be, I feel like, fun to do something different to my normal nationality, and especially because that thought came into my head because Owen is a Welsh name. And then I started doing more research, and I was looking up all of the different more obscure characters of the Knights of the Round Table, and I saw the name Owain. And I was like, this is too good to be true. There's no way. And I looked up like the etymology of the history of Owain, or specifically the name Owen, and it comes from Owain. And I was like, oh, this is great,
sick.
Amazing, perfect. And so then I kind of paired that concept of like Knights of the Round Table. Why is he not talked about as much as the other characters? Perhaps he's disgraced. Why would he be disgraced? And then I just really wanted an opportunity to work in one of my favorite games, Darkest Dungeons. There's a character who like pays penance in blood, and I thought this is a really fun opportunity to like work.
That's my favorite character, by the way.
Yeah, it's all pandering to you.
Yeah, it is.
You also
Every
really
character.
like when I play characters that have like masks or something. You're like, get rid of his features. We don't want these.
Don't call me out.
so I was like, okay, let's have an opportunity. No face. We're just gonna have like full armor. He's gonna be a knight, and everyone's gonna call him Stinky, I guess, which I didn't anticipate.
I've always said it as Owain. You know what? I think even during Bannerfall, I probably just kept calling him Owen. I think. Or I think if I had, I probably would have said the same. I think I would have said Owain, but I think I pretty much just called him Owen the whole time. Or often I just called him Lionhead or Lion. I think I recall saying Lion a bunch of times.
Oh, you know, whatever, it always happens.
And every cosplayer cried whenever they saw the.
Yeah, that was rough.
Is your parkour hell thing based off of Inscription?
No, but it might as well
it
be.
It seems like it. Just
yeah, it's got those vibes. We'll talk about parkour hell in a little bit.
Oh, okay. Shall we move on to individual questions?
Yeah, we can move on to indivs.
Okay.
Luann, did you always plan to switch to Blue Kingdom?
No, I did not. I was always going to be a 100% red supporter, and that changed because Forsey was like, I need somebody to help me out here. Like, I need a switch, but Owen and Appa told me I have to have someone to switch with. So I came like from the heavens like a savior for Forsey, and I was like, you know what? I'll make it work for you. We'll figure something out. So I ended up going to Owen, and I was like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to make this work? I don't know what I'm going to do for this. And he ended up saying in the message, I'll say it verbatim. I have it saved. would be a cute scene of me knighting you as a blue knight. And yeah, it was set in stone from then on. I was like, we're making this happen. I need this.
But Forsey
It
stayed
was
as a rogue,
honestly
right?
a
till
really
the
good
end.
way for me to give Kitty like the good ending. Because in her lore, she always wanted to be a part of Blue Kingdom. That was originally why she came to Bannerfall in the first place. And it was kind of like, you know, a perfect little accident for Forsey to be like, hey, I'm going to switch. So it was never my intention, but I think the way it ended up made Kitty's story so much more impactful and meaning, and it allowed me to actually give character growth to Kitty that made me feel very proud and maternal for her. It was really nice to see my character go from, you know, this plucky little cat rogue thing who didn't understand anything to being this knight who could speak eloquently and understood human like emotions and morals and stuff like that. So shout out Forsey for reaching out. It means a lot. Shout out.
To be fair,
It is. The whole premise of Bannerfall is so fascinating to me, and I suppose maybe it was going to be the same inside of Flight SMP as well. But how different were the vibes between Red Kingdom and Blue Kingdom? Because I just seen someone in chat go like, Red Kingdom was so full of whimsy and misfits, but I don't know whether there was more. I got the impression there was a lot more angst happening over in Blue because like there were people that weren't agreeing with Nom and the decisions he was making. We had a little rift on the red side when I became king for a week. People were kind of against that, but it didn't seem to cause as much of an echo or a ripple in the Red Kingdom because I kind of just took myself away, you know what I mean? But Blue felt like Blue had more like meetings in boardrooms, you know what I mean? They almost had like a council situation going on. And you had characters like deep roleplay characters like, you know, your Gracies, your Owens and people like that. So I got the impression that it was more edgy. I mean, the Scott had animatics. Like, I felt like we didn't have that over on the Red Kingdom quite so much. We obviously had Cam lean into some stuff. We had Sausage, who had his slow overarching Lady Death thing, which finally culminated at the end. But yeah, I got the impression that Blue was a little bit more serious. A little bit more serious.
Thank you for joining the best kingdom, by the way, Leon.
But to be fair, you also, whenever I sent that message, I never really want to like, when I do like my things, I never want to like impose on other people's ideas. So I didn't just say, please help me, I need you to switch. It was,
yeah, I'm playing it up for the bit.
Okay.
Originally, he wanted to reach out to Martin, actually. I don't want to, you know, I'm outing that for you. But
Wait, what? Wait, who?
wanted
Me?
to reach out to Martin, actually. I don't want to, you know, I'm outing that.
Is Lauren saying my name there or something else?
Originally, he wanted to reach out to Martin, actually. I don't want to,
Yeah.
you know, I'm outing that
interesting.
for you. But I was available at the time to like immediately talk about it, and we had like a call, I think, as well over it, and we figured it out. And I never felt forced into it, but I think it's always important to consider other options.
Did you ever hear about
have.
potentially switching with Forsey? No, I don't think I ever did. No, I think that one just never crossed my path. Would I have done it? I suppose it depends where we were in the story. I think post killing the LA probably couldn't have. I think I had quite an aggressive reign and was quite hostile towards the other kingdom when I was trying to gaslight and do things like that. But maybe prior, I may have considered it. But maybe not though, because the whole premise of how I started the SMP, like literally I had it that the Blue Kingdom, whoever was manning the gates of the Blue Kingdom on my first day in the SMP, I started down at the beach and came up the river because I tried to get into Blue Kingdom and was turned away purely because of how I looked, which I think I remember saying when I was first trudging around the Red Kingdom. So maybe I wouldn't have done it. Or if I did, I'd have done it with an ulterior motive to bring it down from the inside or make them pay in some capacity. So maybe, but it would have been unlikely.
In like character writing, and be open to maybe seeing how your character could develop and go from where you originally thought, because genuinely I had no plans for Kitty at the end. So when Forsey introduced this concept to me, I was like, okay, now I can actually do something with my character and not just let her be nothing. So it was good. So yeah.
May, where is May at now?
1 second. It's
Oh.
just kind of like really hot.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is this the Scott
I'm
shirt?
terrified. What? I can't see it. Oh my god.
What? Oh no.
What happened?
So she didn't tell us any of this.
What happened?
Choices have been made.
What choice?
Things have happened.
No, sorry. It's just really warm. Carry on.
It's just really warm. Bannerfall May is sailing the seas with the love of her life, Scots Major.
Very
she
good.
is having the best time. She is seeing the world.
I wonder if character May would have just left without ever saying anything to Frog. Like, I don't know if like it was just Nom dies, they go back to the kingdom, they take off in the dead of night, or whether it would have been like a later on after the fact thing. That'd be interesting to know.
World. And I think what is so fun about where she actually has ended up is she lived on the streets her entire life growing up. Like that was where she was.
Damn, really like Carowin. Holy shit.
And where she was in the kingdom, she had no idea what was going on ever. She didn't know how to navigate that. And I think Scott was a really big part of
They had so much in
helping
common,
her
yeah.
navigate that. And he was kind of alongside her for all of that. And so now they're going on the boat, and I like the idea that they just like end up at some like random towns places where they end up like getting into some trouble, and like she's the one leading him. She's the one like, I got you, I know what I'm doing. And I think that the two of them are both kind of having some self-discovery and
I like the idea of street
finding where they
smarts and
belong
book
in the world,
smarts.
finding who they are. She's finding a brand new path for herself. She's becoming more than just someone who stays in the shadows. And then they're going to go back to Blue Kingdom, and she's going to find Forsey, and they're going to be the best of friends forever, and it's going to be so fine. It's okay. She'll forgive you.
He's at the Red Kingdom.
It's okay. No, it's okay. No, I actually revoke that energy. And they're going to be the best of friends forever, and they're going to do some more builds in the Blue Kingdom.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Forsey, we could unpack parkour hell a lot, but in the interest of time, can you? Just so we have time for the Q&A, can you summarize how you were able to push through 6 hours of parkour?
6 hours?
6 hours that you put me through.
Let's not start throwing names into the mix.
I'm throwing names. You dropped me in it. I thought it was going to be in a box.
Yeah, no. It got a lot bigger than I anticipated, I'll be honest.
I gotta say, getting the DM from Owen being like, do you want to help me make Forsey suffer? And I was like, yes. Just giving you information about lore. I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Well, I feel like my character, when I was dropped into it, originally, like, I had been breaking things in the server, doing like shenanigans. That's why I was put there in the first place. But it was
So
funny
was it
'cause
just
at
like
that
a
point I was
mega
like,
tall
I'm gonna
parkour
get in trouble with this anyway.
with no
I might as well just commit
checkpoints?
and
You
try
just
to
had to
break
do it
out
all
of
in
it
one
and just
go?
go, like,
Is that what it
fully,
was?
like have fun with it. And then I got dropped into it, and everything in my inventory was gone. And it was like seeing that. I was
Did
like,
he have his double jump and wall climb or no?
panicking, and I was like trying to see like, do I have anything that I have on me that I could use? And the only thing that I had, because I was like, I assumed I was in adventure mode, was like an arrow, a crossbow, and like a puffer fish. And I was like, okay, if worse comes to worse, I can use these 3 items. I can use the crossbow and like the arrow and get myself out. But let me hear him out first.
And he had
because
his
he set
bounce.
something up. He
Interesting.
said that. I want to see what it is. And then the blindness goes away, and I see this massive parkour, and I love parkour. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. It was not perfect. It was not.
A special thank you to the testers of the team as well who put that together. They all worked in 3 different installments, and they were all like, yeah, he'll be fine. It'll be okay.
And they tested it without checkpoints at all.
No one tested it without checkpoints. We knew each bit was actually possible, but no one had done it strung together. So you were the first.
I feel like the biggest thing, like, I knew this is something I could do when I was parkouring and just going through it, but it was just a fun moment for my character because, as I said, originally my character was meant to be evil or meant to be this like villain character, but in this moment it was like I just had everything just hitting me all at once for my character. I didn't expect that, and it was crazy how that character kind of became like a symbol of hope in a way, which I didn't expect. And it was like I was trying to like say things like we can get through this, we can make it out, like we can do this, and then I just started saying the same phrase of like, we always bounce back, over and over and over again until my voice was just giving out. But that was the thing keeping me going, and I think other people started saying it just became a thing that was just going, and that was how I got through it. at the end of the day. And also, I can't believe you were watching me that whole time.
I was so tired.
I was sick and twisted.
I stayed up with Owen. I had to see what he came up with for this. It was a long night.
I remember walking into our room being like, it's going to be a long night. Just like, I'll catch up with you later.
Yeah, but essentially, like, it was crazy how you managed to find every single thing I cared about in the server and broke it. Like, you made me not care about it. Like, I noticed that when Apo came over and was like, oh, do you want to go and play in the arena? And I couldn't backstab anymore. Or like, oh, Cherry was like, oh, you want to come parkour? You want to come play some Farkle? That was why I was there. That was why I was putting that. I was like processing. I was like, what do I do now? Like, it was genuinely like, I just have to keep going, I guess. But yeah, that was it.
All Owen's taken from that is it worked.
People still use that saying, like outside of the SMP, by the way. We always bounce back. That's a thing now. So that's cool. Also,
it almost feels like a
huzzah.
bit of like a coin.
Very, very cool.
Huzzah!
Nom, did you always plan on playing a sibling character?
God, no. I mean, I touched on it a little bit earlier. I only really came to that after Katie joined. I had 2 other concepts before that. The first one was so far away from what Bannerfall Nom ended up being. I wanted to be a little goblin. I wanted to be a little goblin who was stupid and like would just run around and just cause antics. I was going to be a rogue. The second idea was also a rogue, but I wanted to be a bard. I really wanted to be a bard. I ended up carrying some concepts from that character over to Nom, where...
Is this a normal thing when people come into an SMP that you have numerous ideas? I always just come in with one. I'm so bad at this. Even with Dungeon Delivery, I came in with one idea. That was it.
Bannerfall Nom actually ended up being a musician in private. Like, there were a couple of lore points where he would go away and play
I guess
a
maybe
song.
I would come up with another... I guess what it is, I go in with one. If they said no, then I'd come in with another one. You know what I mean? But, like, I don't sit there and go, oh, here are my 3 options or whatever.
Process things or whatever. But no, the original kind of full concept I wanted to do was a bard. I wanted to do a character that was kind of silver-tongued, could go into the enemy kingdom and, like, if he gets caught, he's like, oh, that's awesome. Anyway, look at this, you know, and then run away. But that was the original concept I had before Katie Go Bird joined.
Hello.
Katie, what led up to your character answering the final question from the Creaking King in the way that she did? The Creaking King was a point of contention for you a lot, the Creaking King.
The Creaking...
Yeah, so we didn't know about this. So the only pointer I was given for the finale was you'll find the heart, and then you've got to go and tell everybody. But this whole conversation and this final moment, like, I'm pretty certain that Sausage died way quicker than he was supposed to. I think Katie basically one-shot him. They may touch on it here, but I was never aware that Katie had beef with the Creaking King, aside from maybe seeing her brother be tainted. Oh, it was Gracie. Sorry, Gracie one-shot him. But yeah, I think that's the fun thing with Bannerfall is I like that they don't tell the whole cast, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. You will sometimes just get told what your role in it is, or you'll simply just be told, turn up at this place at this time and experience it as your character. And I think that's nice because you get to authentically role play your shock, your awe, your sadness, your excitement, your grief, your pain, your joy, whatever it may be that they throw your way. It's a great way of doing it.
King was evil and I did not like him one bit. I think this one was the 3rd installment, I think, of options that my character got, which was crazy because initially I think I have you to blame, Forsey, for the whole answer thing, choosing between it, because we were talking one night about what your hell would be, because he was talking about his parkour hell, and I was like, I think it would be trolley problems. I'm incapable of making decisions. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, you messaged Owen and were like, I have this really good idea about putting Katie through the ringer and making her do trolley problems. So that wasn't even something that was meant to be character-wise. That was just me as a person. I'm stuck at making decisions.
I messaged Owen immediately.
App, I think you also put some input into that question as well.
Oh yeah, I wrote it.
This is me not, I'm like, it's not all my fault, it's App's fault.
Oh no, I did that. I'm at the end when, like, you know, there was like, you know, 15 other creators being like, what's taking so long for like 7 minutes?
I thought everybody else had a copy.
Yeah.
We knew we had to give it 10 minutes or you would just like wait it out. And we knew that the other creators would start pressuring you into answering.
Yeah, that made...
People, I went to your stream and
I'd be intrigued to know what the questions Katie got was. I didn't want to look at the time because obviously I knew that it was other people's content, their stories. I didn't want to be yielding it into my own one, but I knew something was going on, but I wasn't going around hunting for other POVs. I feel like I'm quite good and quite self-disciplined at not looking what other people are up to. And if I learn information, I will never act on it in a meta fashion. I have to learn it and see it through Frog's eyes. Otherwise, it didn't happen. You know what I mean?
Okay, what's up? What's up now? Who's taking long? Who's taking so long in the Creaking King area?
Who
Who's
would
you?
do that?
Oh.
No, yeah, I think that last point there was a really nice way to sum up my character because, I mean, me and Kitty, we had a really good conversation beforehand leading up to it, which was kind of anticipating it, where it was something along the lines of, but I want to protect you, I want to make sure that you're okay. And then Kitty goes, well, then you'd be just as bad as your brother for not choosing yourself. So then that was in her monologue going through the decisions at the end. So yeah, I think that was a really nice way to wrap up my character in the fact that she, at the end of the day, chose herself. And it was also kind of a saving grace, I think, for Nom as well. If she were to switch it round and she would take on the curse, I think Nom's character would forever blame himself.
He would have been pissed.
Yeah, because it was his fault, inevitably, that he ate the
Oh, yeah, completely.
yeah. So she kind of saved him in that way. And she knew that the best thing to do was to choose herself because she has a found family. As May was saying, she found people who truly saw her for her and believed in her. And she didn't want to give that up for anything. But that doesn't take away from the fact that she loved her brother. She really did. But that's that.
Yeah. I didn't expect it to actually be that significant for your character. I just wanted to mess with you, if I'm being honest. And
Hey,
you know what?
been every lore stream for me.
and that's what I've done the whole SMP, you know? It's
yeah.
always worked for your character, so I'm happy. Great. Owen, would Owen ever go back to Walesland?
Back to Walesland, which was
To the far west.
the like Bannerfall version of Wales. It's very subtle. I don't know if you picked up on that. No, I don't think he would, and that's growth. I don't think. I think once upon a time when he first came to Bannerfall, it was probably everything that was on his mind. But I think he found like belonging in Blue, but also like as a knight, respecting the tenants outside of just the Blue Kingdom as well. I think he sees Walesland as like a place that like took him and made him what he was. But there's no need for him to go back. So that's like a nice closed chapter.
I feel that.
What about you? Do you think you'd ever end up confronting Thornhelm?
Yes.
Oh.
I think like in a more like private setting, kind of like how in Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Fire Nation was an overall threat, but Katara had a very specific person that she wanted to go after that killed her mother. And I think I would like for Bannerfall Appo to kind of have a Katara Zuko moment with Alistar, where she goes back and tries to find the person, maybe like a commander that trained her as a kid or something, and with
let's do this shit as D&D.
Alistar, maybe they go in and try to assassinate him, but then like realize like, oh, this isn't, I don't really want to kill or something like that. Like kind of like that growth of like finally shutting it down on Thornhelm and everything. From
I'm telling you, man,
personal
Saluna Thornhelm, I don't think we're done with it. I want to do something with it, and I didn't even come up with it in the first place. I just got, roped into it.
This could be really cool.
We have a new section that we don't normally do. So usually we have like best builds for the panel, but no one was doing any building in Bannerfall. So
he hates
I
us
don't
with
know,
a passion.
debatable.
I actually think he might be insane.
No,
there was a lot of building.
There was a lot of building.
There
was,
and it was all really great. Thanks, guys, for doing the building for There was a lot of great builds. But we thought it'd be
the fart call. How does the fart call? I'll get a cheeky little mention. No, I'm joking.
interesting. We've been checking the stats.
Oh, Jesus.
So we're going to pull up the receipt.
Actually, no, you know what? I wasn't on the server as much as others, so my numbers, I'm not going to appear in any of these. I guarantee it.
In the interest of time, we were going to do this like a little game
I was quite
show
a good boy
where you all
this
voted on who
SMP.
you thought the most was, but we want to make sure that we get a lot of questions from you guys at the Q&A at the end as well. So I think we're just going to like blitz through
let's
this.
just go.
So we're going to show you what the thing is.
I'm going to guess. Most times jailed. Ooh, okay.
Oh, each individual one.
No.
So
Right, I'm guessing the 8 is Cam. The 1, ooh. No, maybe Cam's 23. I'm going to guess Cam was jailed 23 times, and I'm going to guess that Katie was jailed 8 times. And then on the blue side, I think the people that got jailed are probably going to be Forsey, Nom, and who else would get jailed on blue side? Forsey, Nom, and I can't think. No, I don't think May would get jailed. We'll go with May, but I'm not sure it will be.
3?
And so then we're just gonna like, we're not even gonna discuss it. We're just gonna go and see. So it's gonna be a bit of a whirlwind as we go through these. Okay, so here we go. And then the person who got jailed the most was Katie.
Katie got.
Blame Cam.
Why is it always us?
Oh, so it was Cam doing the jailing, not being jailed a lot. Okay, I thought it would be that kind of dynamic. Oh gosh, whoops. Most attempted pickpockets. Oh god.
Receipts. Now
that I've seen that, I'm now aware that I am probably in contention here.
You can see it really ramps up.
375. 4375. May is 240. Oh, maybe I am 54 pickpocket attempts. And then Kitty. And then was there another rogue on blue side? Or was it like one of the cameos? I reckon maybe one of the cameos.
Towards the end.
I hit this guy.
Oh, yeah, I guess there was the body swaps, wasn't there?
Let's see who... this is most attempted, I think, so not successful.
No.
Wait, Cherry pickpocketed 54 times?
Oh,
what a surprise.
What?
What I find very interesting is Cherry and Nom only had it for one day.
Yeah.
I'm not even on here.
I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy.
It's crazy that Cherry locked in.
How did you do third place?
So this is the most time that somebody, like the most corrupt monarch, I suppose.
I wonder who this is.
It'll be interesting. What is.
I don't think I was in this. I didn't jail people that often. I think I had a day when I was jailing people because they weren't playing Farkle, but I don't think I reached 20 jails. I don't think I did. Let's guess. Cam, I think jailed the most. Top one. I think... Who would have been number 2? Who else was a monarch in Red Kingdom? I can imagine... was Cherry ever... Was Cherry or Appo ever a thingy? Sausage? I don't think Sausage jailed people that much. I'm definitely putting Cam at the top. What other red monarchs were there? I was thinking Cherry, but I can't remember if she was queen or not. And then top blue is probably going to be Nom. And then maybe Chandrea's the lower blue. I don't really remember seeing Shan jailing people that much. And then who would be the lower red? Like maybe... Lower red jail. We'll go with Beck. No, Kitty.
Kitty were horrible.
Yeah, surely calm.
Nom. Oh, Katie.
The worst is.
Each other again.
Yeah.
55.
Yeah, well, I experienced that.
Thanks, Cam, for using the feature the most. Okay, this will be an interesting one. I think this will be done as like a group, I believe. There you go. Yep. So well done.
Nice, reaching the boss.
10 minutes is insane to get
7 player reaching the boss.
And so on that note, who died in the dungeon the most?
Probably a fair bit.
There's a tie?
I don't remember dying 150 times in the dungeon. Although I guess this does also count the boss fight as well, so maybe.
Oh.
It's very close at the top.
I like that 2 of those are blue.
Let's see. Wow, Appo and
Appo,
both
Kitty, okay.
land on the exact same
Okay,
amount.
yeah. I was good. I don't get killed. I'm the killer.
Yeah.
Katie, how have we been next to each other on every stat, by the way?
Man, that's crazy.
You guys stream a lot together.
And then we have who did the most damage to the Creaking King.
Ooh, I don't think I did.
Obviously, the mages
He moved
were
around too
support
much.
class. So if there's any mage on here, I don't actually remember. That would be impressive. But we'll see. Knights were usually, I think, the
Blue Kingdom.
So who was the Red Kingdom ones? He got May there. Red Kingdom was probably Beck. I'm going to say Beck or Katie.
What a May.
Kitty. Wow.
I am nominal and force.
Let's go!
Damn.
But I got damage.
As a rogue, that's crazy.
Damn, Red Kingdom really need to put their weight in this fight.
Is that why you took a heart away from me?
I took a hard way for you for a lot of reasons, man.
Alrighty.
Okay, and then yeah.
Oh no.
Nom is number 1, surely.
Don't look.
So the most violent player. This is
457. I mean, hold on, wait, back it up a bit.
Violent player. This is
So Nom is number 1. Nom was destroying people constantly. Number 2, I feel like Appo killed a bunch of people just constantly, just using that bloody spear of hers. I'm guessing Appo number 2. Number 3, I'm going to guess... May? I'm not sure. Maybe May. 4th place, I'm going to go with Katie. And 5th place, I'm going to go with... me? I don't know. Oh, Owen. Of course, Owen as well. Yeah, we'll put Owen as number 3. Katie 5,
Look, I'm
Cherry
just a bit
4.
silly.
Wow.
Apo was 2.
I wonder who it is.
Damn.
Well, isn't that?
I love my friends, I swear.
I wonder who was on the receiving side of that.
I think you were at least 300 of those.
This is an honorable mention. Apo, do you want to introduce this one?
Yeah.
Was this somebody didn't kill anybody during the SMP? If so, I reckon it was probably Gracie.
So there's one person who got only 1 kill.
Oh.
1 single kill.
Gracie?
The entire SMP.
Was it Gracie and the only person she killed was Sausage?
And it's
at the
actually
end?
pretty awesome.
It's the kill on Mythical Sausage.
At the
Yes.
end.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought it
that's
would be.
awesome.
The pacifist of all time on the
I
entire
mean, she's an
SMP.
elf. She didn't care for the
only
human
kill she
politics
got is
of
right
it
at the
all.
end when she had to finish it.
Very impressive.
So very,
Gracie
very
deserves all the love.
Outside of the dungeon, we were also tracking
Ooh.
deaths.
That's insane.
You'll probably see a correlation here between
Every time.
Oh.
Am I
Oh,
on that
maybe
list?
it's
I don't think I
this.
died that often. Okay, I'm
Oh
good.
my gosh, May.
Most of Nom's kills
I need
were
it to be
on
known every time May dies to fall damage in any server, it gives me nostalgia.
Can we just really quickly get a we kill Nominal Gravy!
Nominal Gravy!
Nominal Gravy!
That's still around way too much.
this is for the hardcore players who were the most difficult to
Oh.
kill. Gracie.
So again, Gracie, pacifist.
Gracie pacifist. If you don't attack people, it turns out you don't get killed.
I kind of like the pacifist knight route. That's
Rogue.
really cool.
Yeah, that was
He
cool.
survived. He's a
Owen one-shot
survivor.
me a lot.
Before what?
Same.
Before what's next, though, let's ask. Let's get some questions from you guys.
Yeah,
we have
absolutely.
about 8 minutes, I'd say. 7
Okay,
minutes.
nice.
Yeah,
Q&A
yeah,
time.
well, so if
So-
you could keep it to 1 question per person, I know sometimes it's really burning to ask 2 questions, but it means that everybody will be able to.
So we're just
have
going to point at people with their hands
some- Yeah,
up.
we have 2 mics at the
and-
back. Apo, do you want to point at someone?
Yeah, let's go behind you, behind Cherry. This one, right here.
Right at the front here, second row.
Sorry.
Yeah, we have a
We
microphone
have a mic.
so that the VOD watchers can enjoy it.
I will take that. First of all, not sorry for parkour hell. Second of all, what's the most significant part of like your character's design?
Stars.
No face. I think that was like the lion emblem was
No face.
The most significant part of my character's design. I'm trying to think what I would say for that. I almost need to pull the image up and see if there's anything there. Obviously, in previous Power SMP projects, there would be like, oh, it's the scars because of all of the data stream stuff. But like Bannerfall wasn't part of that umbrella, so I guess honestly, just the eyes. The eyes were pivotal in comedy, in emotion, relaying information. They were part of his entire like identity. Like he looked unlike anything you would normally see in a Minecraft SMP. So yeah, I think the eyes for sure.
What about you guys?
I know everyone's gonna say the hat, but like it's the hair vents for me. It's the like hair, like the bangs that represent the cat ears.
Clever.
My beautiful artist, Seta Sedison, did so much work and made these really cool daggers that had stars engraved into them, and nobody knew why they had stars engraved in them. And it was from the very beginning concept art until the very end of the story, and it was really awesome.
Mine was probably the cloak, because I had a lot of backstory that I built upon that, and also the like. I don't think people always in art notice this or see it, but there was like the little like I like to envision
Honorable
them as,
mention
like,
to the
warden
tongue,
vines, like
yeah.
glowing like neon vines at the back of it, because he got this cloak from like a challenge in the depths of what I thought, and I thought that was a really clever world building.
That's sick.
I feel like the mace is a cop-out answer, but besides the mace, definitely the red he had in his armor. As a Blue Kingdom member, it was weird having that red in the armor, but the reason for it was his mother was actually from Red Kingdom. So his mother gave him
didn't
that
know
armor
that.
before their parents had to leave.
The lollipop king, yeah.
To remind him that he can be both. The kingdoms don't matter. He didn't learn that lesson very well. But that plays into my character's thing of he values family more than the kingdoms as well. Which then, whenever he did turn into the creaking, it turned white because then he was the kingdom of Bannerfall.
Interesting.
And less so a kingdom in particular.
Aw. I think less design, more ability. The pocket sound was very, very her.
That was so you.
Yeah, it was so fun to just get to chuck that in people's eyes and run away. I think you could have used it so attackingly, and if somebody else had that ability, like Nom, for example, he'd be able to use that to his advantage. But one, I kept forgetting that it existed, and two, I used that more as a just to annoy people thing.
It was evil.
I think that was very, very my character.
We also came up with pocket sound in like the first hour of our call.
Yeah. It was more of just a throwaway thing of just, wouldn't it be funny if I threw it in people's face and just ran away? And they were like, wait, we can actually do that. And yeah.
The
It's
llama
the most
spitter.
broken ability on the server. We still talk about how broken it is.
I had it as Alistar, but I didn't
Okay,
really
thank you
use
very much
it
for the
all that
question.
much.
Let's go for another one. Can we go front of row here? Very front row. Oh,
Very
thank you very much. Here.
I wanted to ask, what made you come up with the concept for Bannerfall? So going for medieval fantasy, knights, mages, rogues, kind of thing.
It was the mayhem, the mounting mayhem update.
Yeah, the spear. We wanted to integrate like a normal Minecraft feature and kind of star it as like the centerpiece. And we did that with the creaking as well towards the end and stuff. It's really cool to like take aspects of Minecraft that they introduced and everything and kind of like build a story around them. It feels very natural.
Yeah,
And,
that spear being added was like it was like we can have different medieval fighting styles with that.
Yeah,
and then
But how many people actually use the spear in the end? Because I don't think we could craft them, right? I don't think we're even on a Minecraft version to do that. It's obviously they're talking more thematically, but I think only Apo had one.
We immediately started watching like a bunch of medieval jousting movies and stuff, and then we
Camping SMP coming to your screens late 2026. That's right.
never did and then we never did jousting.
Oh, and
one
Gracie
day,
too.
maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the inspiration. We can go for another one. Apo, do you want to point
Side of the room.
Also, as well, it's really surprising that there aren't more medieval themed SMPs in Minecraft because predominantly people are building their homes with stone and wood. They're making it with timber and rubble, and those are more medieval time materials. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there are bricks in Minecraft, but you have basically the one texture, the one aesthetic, the one appearance. That I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often because it's rooted in it. But maybe that just feels like the obvious choice. But the way they navigated it actually gave it like a unique feel.
Pink hair.
Does that narrow it down at all in this crowd?
I don't know, man.
Sorry if you've been asked before, but how did you choose who was in each kingdom?
Interesting.
Difficultly.
Difficultly. I don't. How do you?
It was a balance of time zones. It was a balance of skill. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't like this crazy one-sided because initially it was going to be
I would
at
imagine
the end,
builders as
permadeath
well.
would be turned on after you killed the monarch of the other kingdom, and 50% of the server would be dead by the end of the whole series. So we weren't going to do this like big boss fight at the end. It was going to be kingdom versus kingdom, big skirmish, and you that one.
I think
side
I recall
wins.
this being a thing. I think in the opening meeting we had that, but I think based on how the initial call went when all the cast were in a call for the very first time, I think a lot of people expressed not necessarily wanting to die. But yeah, so I think maybe that's what steered it in a different direction.
But again, we pulled our punches a little.
Yeah, I mean, we also had like our regular cast members and our new cast members, and we didn't want to just put all the new guys on one side and all the old guys on the other, because that would just feel unfair in a sense, and it would be a weird way to kind of integrate and mingle the cast together and stuff. So we tried very hard.
Maybe
to
the
make
rogues
it
could have been
so
intended to kill the
there's some new,
monarchs.
some
Yeah,
old on each
true.
side.
Maybe that would have
Which is
been
why
our
it was so
like
scary when people
our
started talking about
passive, if
switching
you will. That
kingdoms, 'cause
was
it was
what we
like,
were built for, made for.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think being 4C on one kingdom was terrifying. Actually, us
Man.
3 on one kingdom, I would say, is very terrifying.
Well, we had multiple lists and stuff, and I think that was an oversight. But I think it worked
Me
out
and
very
Scott
well.
in one kingdom would have been lethal. Yeah, having Scott there as well. Like the most times MCC winner, has won live series a bunch of times. Like Scott over there as well was brutal.
Well, like Blue Kingdom's going to roll them. Like they're gonna win, and I think that's a fair critique.
And you know, and that's why the story ended up changing a little bit.
Because
so.
we didn't
That's why
want
you have the Maymays and skill diff.
A little skill.
But honestly,
The
story-wise, it
question,
made the Blue Kingdom make more sense as the original kingdom.
Yeah, absolutely. We could go for another one. Let's go for at the back with the name tag, the crazy. Sorry, forwards a little bit more. Wave your hand up in the air. Yeah, this you with the name tag, the Crazy Swan or something? Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you, Crazy Wingman.
I'm not a swan. I'm a wingman.
Sorry. I thought it was Eloise. I could see
A man with wings is a swan.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I also asked this at Skyblock Kingdoms yesterday, but I would like to know for you as well. How much do you like plan your lore, and how much do you improvise?
I'll kick this over to the cast.
I feel like a lot of the plan, like when we're there, it's full improv. But like a lot of times, like I'd want to do something or have some interaction. So like I was doing a subathon. I was live 24/7. I couldn't just go and sit down and plan out a story really. But what I would do was at night, like right before I go to bed, there's like I want to talk to this person today. So I'd get into a call for like 30 minutes and be like, what's your story like? What is your characters? Because everyone writes a backstory when they join, and I want to hear their backstory. So I would go in, hear their backstory, and I'm like, oh, I could bounce off of it in this way. That would be cool. And then we go on, and we're like, let's go on an adventure, and we just do an adventure, and I end up creating that lore. And sometimes things happen that I don't expect, like parkour hell or whatever, and you just have to work with it. But most of it is improv, but a lot of it is like, if you have something to go to eventually, like you're going to something, you're not just walking around waiting for something to happen.
I think also from like a developer side, we always go in with an idea of how lore heavy a server will be. Like Outsiders, for example, we basically told the cast like you should have a backstory, you should have something to work with, and with that, a lot of stuff ended up being more planned, especially towards the end. Vampires wasn't supposed to be like very, very lore heavy. I mean, it was supposed to be more of like a game in a way, and eventually
Bannerfall was meant to be wholesome.
Yeah, Bannerfall was supposed to be wholesome. Yeah, exactly. So it just depends.
Nothing goes
really
as planned
on the SMP.
Contextually, for me, by the way, the whole Kerowin having a real name, all of that sort of stuff was so last minute. Like, I wonder if I can even search the phrase Kerowin in my one-to-one chat on the server, because I'm pretty sure I had to like feed that name to them. So if I get rid of has images, and if I just search Kerowin, maybe if I just search Kerowin and maybe it'll come up. Is it with double N maybe? No, I don't even think I had that there. So where was that then? Where did I feed the name Kerowin in? Maybe it was in a chat one-on-one with like Owen, maybe? Because Owen would have been the one programming it. Caro. No, I can't even find where Kerowin is. Maybe I did it on like a call with them or something, but I swear I didn't. But yeah, the whole thing of being given the ultimatum about turning back into a human and having the name Kerowin be revealed, I think was literally the moment they came to me and said, hey, in the finale, you're gonna find the big heart beneath the surface, and the Creaking King's gonna like talk to you about some stuff. That was when we sort of locked that in. So that was like super last minute. The whole thing of like wanting to change back into a human was something that I wasn't particularly exploring, because like somebody mentioned earlier on in the chat, I kind of lore dropped in Sausage's Twitch chat how Frog was worried about even trying to do that, because he could end up as something else that would be really unbearable to live as or to be, you know what I mean? So that's why he was avoiding magic for the most part whenever he could. He saw big water bubbles, he got excited at those. But he wasn't seeking out that information. Like, I wasn't going to the mages in each kingdom going like, oh, have you ever heard anything about transforming people back from frogs and blah, 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 blah. You'll notice that there was a massive lack of that, because I think he wasn't fully content in himself, but having that proposal given to him at the very end of the series was just that final spot check to see whether he did or not. Would he ever tell the others about his true name, or is he Frog Forever to them? I think he's probably just Frog Forever to them. Yeah. I think maybe that would be a thing that would be revealed if we, say we did like a D&D session or something, and we go back and we go into Thornhelm, maybe Frog sees somebody that he grew up with on the streets, down in the slums, if they still happen to be around, and he would have to say, it's me, Kerowin. Like, you know what I mean? He'd have to do that kind of thing. It's not necessarily I'm cursed, but I kind of like it. It's I've been cursed, and this is bearable. You know what I mean? Like, it's I could try and reverse this curse, but it could double down and literally make me into a frog. The fact that I'm still able to interface with humanity and I'm not completely egregious and horrible to look at to people, like it's a form of existence that is tolerable for Frog. Yeah, it's kind of like an air could be worse, but yeah, that kind of thing. Kerrigan came out of the closet and is now proud of who he is. Not even necessarily. I wouldn't even necessarily say that Frog is super chuffed with who he is, but he gets by with it, and he's found people that don't treat him any kind of way because of it, which is better than he's had everywhere else he's gone to. So he's still very much in a self-love and trying to learn to love himself kind of environment. But yeah, so basically, like I said earlier on in the stream, I went in with, I'm a frog dude, I got transformed into this, and you know, I got turned away at the gates of one kingdom and now I exist in the other. That was it. And I'm a rogue and that's it. And I'm just going to exist and see how things play out around me. All of the whole being from Thornhelm obviously didn't happen until I even heard about Thornhelm being a thing. And even then I didn't decide I was going to be from there or anything. It wasn't until I was playing Alistar and we came up with the Rogue Guild a little bit prior to the Alistar. So like Alistar, like themselves, was a character made up like one day, and then within 48 hours Alistar appeared on the server. Like I just said that I think I'd mentioned that there was a rogue guild because I wanted the backstory to be at least that Frog got turned into a witch from a rogue gig gone wrong. So having this kind of secret society, this rogue company that he works for towards the northern end of the landmass where Selûne is found, that was always a thing. And then Alistar just kind of got looped into that when I was trying to get under Apo in character's skin. And then obviously Alistar just came to fruition like days later, which is nuts. But yeah.
One question. I think one more question we got left. Time for one more.
Do you want to point to someone?
Oh yeah, I can point to someone. All the way in the back.
You were the only professional rogue as far as I know. Yeah, as far as I'm aware.
What was your favorite person to collab with in lore?
Ooh, who would I say was my favorite person to collab with in lore? May for sure. Sausage was cool. Because Sausage, I was just kind of being like an additive to Sausage's stuff. Like I was helping. I think I was acting as the server's temperature check for where Sausage was at mentally, if that makes sense. And that's not like content creator brain. I'm talking like in world. So in character, I was checking in with Sausage every so often and like having conversations with him and seeing that kind of decline into madness or that decline into corruption. So I was checking in with him pretty constantly so that the audience had an in-world view of Sausage from like a close perspective, which was pretty cool. Aside from that, I guess they were the two main people. We had the back and forth with May, which didn't really flourish properly until towards the end, and then we had that as well. So yeah,
all of them.
We could tweak that question to be like, what was your favorite moment, like a certain moment of lore that we liked? I think that will help.
Anytime we played Farquhar, I feel like
I was not. Working with Cherry Fire for me was just an absolute joy. Back to the womb.
Back to the womb.
What about you guys? Is that like a moment lore-wise that you're like, that was the crowning
achievement? Comes to for me is like
a moment lore-wise. I'm trying to think like a crowning jewel moment lore-wise. Because I didn't get deep into the lore in Bannerfall. I was kind of doing my own thing and I was in and around it. And I was part of the main narrative beats that Owen and Apo set up. I guess like, yeah, reading Sausage's book at the end, that was quite a punch to the gut. Like, and having him narrate it as well, I thought that was a smart play. I asked him if he could voice over that. So yeah, I think yeah, doing that whole progression and the descent into madness and then it consuming him and doing that was good. Stealing Luan's crown as well, yeah, that was a big thing. I suppose actually the big thing was the whole improvised lore of Cherry's trying to throw me under the bus for a prank that has like been uncovered. I'm really angry. I decide to become the monarch, or at least run for monarch, and somehow end up getting it, and then ordering Katie to like kill the Elayans, everything like that. None of that was pre-planned. All of that happened in the moment, in character. I think it actually pushed back Luan's plans unintentionally, which I still feel bad for, because I think Luan was ready to be monarch that week. Like, it was never a case of somebody would go, oh, I'm definitely going to be monarch this week. It was anybody who wanted to run could, but there were people that were vocalizing in the Discord like, oh, I think I'm ready for a crack at it, sort of thing. So they would be like, I'm definitely going to be running, but it's up to other people if they want to, which I think is why you saw a few like uncontested ones, because I think everybody else was happy for other people to have a go. So mine did derail what people thought was going to be the play out of the day, but in character, it made sense. So yeah, I think that whole Allay thing, and I wish we'd done more with that. I wish we'd done a whole bit where we talk about the Fae realm and stuff like that. Because I kept saying like, oh, like, you know, the Allay hasn't actually died. It's gone to the Fae realm, which I was then coining as like a little gut thing, but also in reaction to the D&D thing that we did with Gracie, where we went to the flower circle out the back of the Red Kingdom. So I was thinking there could have been something explored there where we do go to a different dimension or a special forest, and we actually go and get back the Allay. Or what I was saying is maybe the Allay could have come back red. That could have been a thing. Or maybe even purple. So it was the mix of the blue and the red and something like that. But nothing of that we got to do, unfortunately.
I always knew I was going to do a lot of lore with, like, obviously 4C, Katie. Like, there are people I knew I was going to do a lot of lore with. What I didn't expect was how closely tied me and Scott's characters were going to be. That was not planned. I didn't really know Scott that well before Bannerfall, where obviously a lot of the other cast members I have met before and I knew. Met Scott for the first time on Bannerfall, immediately clicked, and then we just ran lore. So, like, that is probably the one for me.
Similarly, here going in, I knew that I was going to do stuff with you in 4C. I wasn't expecting me and Luan's characters to be so intertwined. It ended up being one of the sweetest things ever.
I completely unplanned. I picked that tower, and then you were also there. And I was like, man, I gotta do something with Katie.
It just so happened to work out. I think one of my favorite moments that I can think of is the masquerade when they had the unveiling where it was Kitty. It was so wholesome.
Yeah, that was very sweet.
Does anyone else? We have like 10 seconds left each.
I did the most lore with 4C, but I think one of my favorite moments was Owain showing the Heart of Gold statue. I
like
genuinely had a tear down my face.
I also loved our conversation on
we had
Castle.
that
was great.
So that's all we have time for today. I don't think we have anything else to show.
Yeah, I mean, we just did a medieval theme, and
what was us? What was us?
Oh, there is a slide here.
Oh, crazy!
And here it comes.
Fancy music.
Greek mythology. People have been counting the number of like souls that come out of it. I don't know whether the souls actually count up and match the cast members. I've no idea. Pantheon SMP.
Greek SMP.
Greek SMP.
Now, you know what's funny about that, chat? Let me show you something, because this came across my TikTok this morning, I want to say. And I sent this in the chat and said, I'll take my 10% now, please. And as soon as I saw the clip, I was like, I remember having this conversation. Oh, my God. But check this bad boy out.
What are bigger is? They're bigger.
I'll be real. Has there actually been an SMP yet that has got the whole like Greek mythology thing going on?
No.
Like,
no, why
I
did
really
you...
want to see it. Somehow, bafflingly, no. I don't really know how it's not been done.
I've seen
Huh?
one SMP.
This is during
but it was,
Rats 2.
Percy Jackson themed.
That's kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
That's close.
I was thinking, like, what's that game called? Was it called like Phoenix Rising or whatever it's called?
Don't know.
No, what was it called? There was a Ubisoft game.
Oh, yeah, I think it was like Phoenix, wasn't it? Like with an F.
But what are bigger is? They're bigger
There you go. Yeah, the subtle foreshadowing.
Pantheon SMP coming to you late July.
Late July.
Late July.
That will be a YouTube exclusive series.
It'll
so
be
keep an
YouTube
eye out for
exclusive.
that.
It'll be very good.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's been an absolute
everyone.
pleasure. Super fast. We'll take a photo of the entire crowd, so stay seated. Everyone say huzzah! And then we'll also try and do a selfie as well, because we tend to try and do those. So I'll stand in the middle, and we will try our best to make this work. Everybody stay seated, because it increases the chances, and then everybody get in. Is that everyone? Great. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great TwitchCon.
Very good panel. Super, super good. I like it because it really sort of like shines a light on just how you can take a mix of people who do a ton of planning, people that do a little bit of planning, but you see how they kind of like harmonize together and how like the goalposts can move. Like it's a server where the developers and admins, as well as the participants, are all working in real time to accommodate everybody's different stories and to figure out how all this sort of stuff works. So yeah, so there you go. That's the Bannerfall panel. We've obviously got Pantheon SMP coming up late July. All I can tell you for now is that my character is hot. That's all I can say for now. But let's have a quick look actually at what's been said on the Power Creations Twitter so far. So for those of you that don't know, the new SMP is going to be YouTube only, just so you're aware. Oh, who made the avatar for the Twitter? We need to get some color on the background of that. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I've not seen that image before. Hold on. I've genuinely not seen this banner before. Look at that. Damn. Very cool. Is that B Apple Struder art? Is it? That's really sick. Okay, nice. Okay, let's go to replies and we can look through some of the stuff that they have confirmed and spoken about and whatnot. So here we go. So the reception for Pantheon SMP has been incredible. While we can't reveal much, we'll toss you a bit of lore to chew on. Our cast will be playing champions that the gods select to represent them in a competition. While they aren't the gods themselves, each will have powers. And I think some of the reasoning for this is that there are some people who still to this day practice and still follow these gods as like their literal religion. And I think there was a little bit of people vocalizing concern that in media, often certain gods, like say it's the god of death, are just immediately like blanket written and represented as being evil. And it's like, bro's just doing his job. Like, you know what I mean? Like we need death as much as we need life. We need the sun as much as we need the moon. Like it's, so I think letting people know that like we are going to be playing characters that are being given, you know, that are being given powers and blessings or whatever it would, you know, be categorized as from these gods is like, should hopefully mean that they are being positively represented. And yeah, basically that's all we can really say for now. So I'm pretty certain they've already spoken about the cast already, because people are already doing like cast predictions for it and everything else along the way. So yeah, basically that's that. I don't know. You can ask questions, but I don't know if I'll particularly have any answers for you, but we can have a little think on that. Apo, okay, so Apo has said it. Yeah, okay, cool. So Apo said that it's Vampires SMP, Caspar Avid. Okay, cool. Cool. So, so yeah, basically everybody's back. Your Pearls, your Wrens, your Sausages, your Lagundos, your everybody's, your Scots. It's good. Let's have a look at Apo's page. People are saying that Apo's spoken about it. Let's see. Tweet replies. Let's see. Trying to find it. Trying to find like the wider post. I mean, that's when the trailer was posted. Remember that movie I said for the character design? Is that too much of a giveaway for you to tease? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think we've already said more about the SMP than we maybe would like to have done, but it was just to make sure that people weren't spiraling leading up to the SMP thinking that things were going to go any certain kind of way. So I think we're going to be keeping our cards close to our chest, because realistically it's only a few weeks away, right? Like we're about so what is it? We're saying late July, so it's 3 weeks towards the end of June, and then we've got another, I guess, 3 or 4 weeks after that. I don't think we even have a recording date penned in just yet or anything. So yeah, but who are your predictions? Who are your predictions for all of this? If I do Pantheon SMP prediction, see what comes up. Is Pearl participating per chance? She is. She is indeed. Yeah, here we go. This is one of the first ones that I've seen. So we've got Sausage as Dionysus or Dionysus. I don't know how you pronounce it. Sort of the god of wine. Let me see if I can remember what all these are actually, because I've not done much research yet beyond listening to a little bit of Mythos from Stephen Fry, the audiobook, and then playing Hades like for a first few runs. Abolish as Hades, I could see that. Owen as Hermes. Hermes has actually been one that a lot of people have been thrown my way, I've noticed. And I think it's just because there's that slightly trickster vibe and just being swift and nimble and stuff like that. And that fits me. It's why I play rogues in Bannerfall and that sort of thing. So I can see the logic there. I can see the logic. Scott for Poseidon, obviously god of the sea. We've got Legundo as Hephaestus. Who is Hephaestus? What's their gig? See, some of these I recognize the names, but I couldn't tell you what they do. Oh, the god of crafts, blacksmith, forges, and fires. Very cool. Okay. Then you've got Drift as Nemesis, or the champion of Nemesis. What does Nemesis do? It looks as though it's something to do with balance. So what was the vibe on that one? I mean, I could just Google it separately, couldn't I? Nemesis is revenge and comeuppance. Ooh. See, I don't know if I would put that with Drift. I don't find Drift is as much of like a justice bringer kind of character. But there's no reason that Drift couldn't do that and like dip a toe into that pool. I could see Cleo as Nemesis. Yeah, for sure. Like Cleo can carry that kind of mantle. We've got Artemis for Pearl. Makes sense. Absolutely cracked with a bow, has that kind of like 5 a.m. Pearl situation going on. I like that. Ares. Is it Ares? Ares also has arrows. Is Ares some kind of like warrior combatant sort of one? Oh, the god of war. Oh, damn. Okay. Got me down as Aphrodite, which I think is quite interesting. So is Aphrodite like the god of kind of like love and stuff? I mean, from what I've researched so far, it seems as though a lot of gods have like bleed and crossover. So numerous gods are gods of childbearing, or you know what I mean, like some of them have like blended themes, and then of course there's often then like the Roman versions of them as well, or something like that. God of love and beauty. Oh, okay, gotcha. Aren't Aphrodite and Ares siblings? Oh, is that what they're doing with it then? So that's why they've got Ren as Ares, me as Aphrodite. Interesting. Okay. Iris. I mean, I'm assuming Iris isn't just the god of gay. I'm assuming Iris is the god of something else. I just see a rainbow, so that's my only clue. What's Iris got going on? The god of rainbows. A messenger of the gods. Ooh. Ares is the son of Zeus. He has a lot of siblings. Yeah, from what I've been reading, Zeus was honestly a pretty terrible guy. But I think that's the thing, right? Is I like with the Greek mythology stuff that I've been reading that they're not portrayed as these people of perfection and someone you should like throw everything down or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I like that they are inherently flawed. There's a humanity to them. Is what I'm reading. I think all of them, like the vast majority, if not all of them, are flawed in some way, which I think actually makes their stories more believable and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I've been quite enjoying that. But what is Iris in the end? I feel like I've actually not gotten an answer on that. What is Iris the god of? Was it just the messenger of a god? Oh, no, it literally is. In Greek mythology, Iris is the goddess of the rainbow and the chief messenger of the Olympian gods. See, that was the thing I was seeing as well. So are there different categories of gods? Like, this isn't me, like, gaslighting here. Like, I genuinely need to know and start learning this stuff. But, like, are there Olympian gods and then are there other subsets or other... And, like, are any of the Olympians categorized in the other kinds of gods as well? Like, what are those other categories? I've got basically, like, just short of 2 months to learn as much as I can about this. There are major and minor gods. Olympian, chthonic, and earth gods. Right. I mean, I will learn a decent chunk of this. I don't think I need to be fully clued up on all of this. I think whichever god that I'm the champion of, it would be good for me to like have familiarity with. And then the others I can just like learn in SMP. You know what I mean? Then there are the Titans and the Primordials. Okay. Gotcha. Then we've got Demeter, I'm guessing is the god of farming, the god of crops. What is Demeter, god of agriculture, harvest, grain, and the fertility of earth? One of the 12 Olympian deities, and was considered the great Earth Mother, who sustained humanity by providing grain and sacred laws of agricultural cycle. So that's different to Gaia, right? Because isn't Gaia Earth? I guess she's maybe more the Earth. So when it says Earth Mother here, maybe there's a bit of a bleed and a crossover there. I only know about Gaia because of Hightail. So that's the reason I know that one. So that's that. We've got Apollo. What is Apollo the god of? Apollo is the god of music, poetry, art, prophecy, truth, archery, healing, and the sun. I love that all of them are quite like arts related, and then suddenly you've just got one combatant one, and then everything else. That's mad. But yeah, I could see Pyro playing something like that. Gaia is a primordial god, whereas Demeter is an Olympian. So what? Give me the pecking order. So going from high to low. So is it Titans, Primordials, Olympians, Chthonic, Earth, or have I gotten the order wrong somewhere within that? And are they all the tiers, if you will? Primordials first, okay. Because Prime, yeah, sure. So Primordial, Titans, Olympians, Chthonic, Earth. So what are like some Earth gods? What are some Earth gods in Greek mythology? I mean, when I type that in, it's just giving me the page for Gaia. Primordials like chaos and night and the earth. Ah. Primordials are kind of implied to exist before anything else. Okay. I think when I was listening to Mythos, it was talking about... Oh, fuck. What was it? Because it was like the beginning of everything. So like Kronos. Where does Kronos land? What type of god is Kronos? Kronos is a Titan, okay. Who is Kronos's parent? Wasn't it like all... Oh, what's the name? So his parents are Gaia, and that's it in Uranus as well. Okay, yeah, with you. So what's the one that I'm... Unless he's just pronouncing Uranus wrong. Who chopped off... And maybe it was Uranus's. No. Or maybe. No, it was that. Okay, I remember it correctly. Kronos chopped off Uranus's balls. Castrated him. That's a bit I've heard from the story. Yeah, so that's a bit that I know. But yeah, I'll have to keep listening through the Mythos things. I think that's actually quite helpful. And I can definitely sesh out that audiobook. It means I'll have to put Dungeon Crawler Carl down for a bit in order to go through that, but I can certainly do that. Also, that was a really cool thing. I don't think the person even knew that I was reading. Maybe they did, but when I made mention of it, like they seemed surprised. But I actually signed a copy of Dungeon Crawler Carl at TwitchCon, which I thought was pretty cool. So that was quite a novelty for me. I'm pretty sure it was book 2. I think it was the Doomsday scenario book that I signed, and that for me was quite fun. So yeah. And then we've got, how do you pronounce that? Persephone? Persephone. There you go. Persephone, god. A dual-natured goddess of spring and queen of the underworld. Oh, wait. So wait, is she with Hades? The myth of Hades and Persephone. Explaining the changing of the seasons. They are, okay, right. So it's Hades' wife. Okay, with you. And then we've got Athena. Athena goddess. What's Athena's deal? The god of wisdom, strategic warfare, and crafts. Damn. Okay. Very interesting. Is Cherry in it? I mean, not to my knowledge. But maybe people were thinking, oh, if Avid's out, then maybe somebody new comes in, I suppose. Because would we have an uneven cast number if Avid's gone? Or would it then become an even number cast? Not that it being odd or even matters, frankly. We've got 13 of us. That seems lucky. Is this one going to be YouTube or streamed? This is going to be YouTube, yeah. Doesn't Cherry hate editing YouTube videos? Yeah, which is probably why Cherry wouldn't participate in this. But yeah, it's going to be YouTube. 13 could have been so good due to 12 Olympians and Hades. A fun playlist. Let's have a look. I wonder if this is the one that I... Oh, it's like a little video of the Smite stuff. So these like video trailers of each of the gods. Oh, this will be sick. This will be very, very helpful. Okay, yeah, I'm going to... Draz, can you send me that on Discord? Unless maybe you have already... Oh, Draz has hit me with like a big old bit of info. Primordials. Chaos, Gaia, Uranus, Tartarus. I thought Tartarus was a place. I thought Tartarus was the place beneath Earth. If that makes sense. Like further towards the core. I don't know who Nyx and Eros are though. Nyx, God. Oh, the personification of night. Okay. And then what about Eros? Eros, God. Eros is the ancient god of love, desire, and sexual passion. Oh, known as Cupid or Amor in Roman mythology. Oh, okay. Oh, there's like a little flowchart here. So you got Chaos at the top. Oh, wait. Hold on. So was Chaos first? So Chaos was first before everything. Then Chaos created Gaia and Uranus? Damn. And then Gaia and Uranus had Cronus, Rhea, and Oceanus. Wow, and then Zeus is actually fourth tier. Damn. So you got Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Hades, Demeter, and Hestia. Interesting. I mean, Zeus had a lot of kids, right? Like, how many kids did Zeus have? Zeus had well over 50 and potentially exceeding 100. Actually, wait. How many kids did Zeus have with Hera? Because I know he was a cheating bastard. Zeus and his wife Hera had 3 to 4 uncontested children, depending on the source. But I think he had just a ton. Dude was a horn dog. Damn. All right. Well, that's pretty good. There was one video that I wanted to watch. I've had it in my to watch. It's like a very quick 12-minute summary of Greek mythology. Let me see if it'll come up. And it's going to be super abridged, and I am going to watch a longer one. They actually, from the same channel, they have a 3.5 hour version that I want to watch. Before I do that, let me run a quick 30-second ad break. I will pop to the loo, and then we'll watch that together, and we'll keep on chit-chatting about all this stuff. Let me pull this video up. Here we go. And where are my Twitch ads? Let me run some real quick. There we go. I'll pop this video up on the screen. I'm not going to press play. I'm just going to quickly do a 1-minute ad. I'm going to go to the loo. BRB. Oh my god, my legs hurt so much. Oh, ouchie. Right. Let's do this thing. There we go. Hello. Hi. Right. Let's have a look at this. Let me pause this music real quick. Let's watch this together, and I'll probably have questions. It'll be a good primer for other people as well, I reckon. I feel like by the time the SMP rolls around, everybody's going to be so clued up on it, players and viewers alike.
The world began with several primordial beings. First came chaos, then Gaia, earth, and finally Eros, love. From Gaia there came Uranus, heaven, who both created the Titans. Uranus disliked his children and locked them deep within the earth. Gaia, sick of having her children imprisoned, made a great sickle that she gave to her son Cronus. Cronus hid until...
So I've listened to this. So this sickle was hidden deep within some kind of like special cave, and she went. I think it was Gaia, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what it was? Went around and asked each of the children if they would basically take down Uranus, and they were all like, "Nah, not doing it, Mum. Like, just drop it." But then Kronos actually like
Uranus came
decided
to
give it
lie
a
with
crack.
his mother, then leapt out and sliced off his father's genitals, which fell into the sea.
Well, okay, so it says fell into the sea. In Mythos, the Stephen Fry thing, he says that he launched them into the horizon, which, you know, don't get me wrong, did go into the sea, but they didn't fall into the sea. He skied it, sent it miles away.
Cronus proceeded to release his fellow Titans from prison, and so the Age of the Titans began. Cronus married the Titan Rhea, who gave birth to most of the major gods.
Also, the crazy thing about all of this is, like, I get the impression from all the stories that they were just kind of the only people kicking about. So, like, it was so incestuous. Like, oh my God.
Cronus, scared by a prophecy that his children would take his power,
Jesus.
imprisoned them as soon as they were born, swallowing them whole.
I feel like maybe I can't watch this on stream. I don't know if I can, man. I don't think I can. I don't know where the next, like, artwork's gonna go. maybe we hold fire on that. Yeah, that might not be the best of ideas. Jesus, dude. Good God. What was I gonna say? I mean, maybe I just end stream there. What do you reckon? Do I just call it there for today? We could do it. What about a horrible history story of it? I mean, if it exists, shall I try and find in that? Horrible histories, Greek mythology. Let's have a look. Which one would it be? Might I recommend overly sarcastic productions? I mean, you can. My worry, though, is that it's also just going to have loads of images. You know what I mean? I think there's going to be loads of stuff. I tell you what, maybe for now, because I don't think it's going to be a cause for concern, why don't we pull up these videos that Draz sent me, the Smite ones? These ones might be good to watch for a while. Oh, wait, it's just silent. Okay.
Welcome to the Smite God reveal for Zeus, God of the Sky. In Smite, Zeus brings down electric fury on his enemies as a
I guess even just get an idea of what their elemental vibe is.
As the king of gods, Zeus strives for fairness and justice, but will not hesitate to call down the thunder when there's smiting to be done. Zeus's father, the Titan Kronos, immediately swallowed his children after birth so that none could overthrow him as he had his own father. When Zeus was born,
why have kids in the
Rhea,
first place, then?
Zeus's mother hid the child from Cronus and gave the Titan a rock in swaddling clothes, which he swallowed instead.
Oh, interesting.
In secret, Zeus grew up on the Isle of Crete until he was old and strong enough to challenge his father. During their battle, Zeus slit open Cronus' stomach, allowing his swallowed brothers and sisters to escape, slaying the Titan. Then, Zeus released the Cyclops and other beings Cronus had kept imprisoned. In gratitude, the Cyclops awarded Zeus control over lightning. With his two brothers, Poseidon and Hades, the three gods...
So where does Cyclops come into this? How are they granting power to Zeus? were they what tier in the power level are they? The Cyclops made the godly weapons. So where do they rank then? Are they on par with Titans or what?
Gods drew lots to
They're master craftsmen, I think. Right.
decide command of creation. Poseidon became king of the sea, Hades the underworld, and Zeus the sky. From his golden throne atop Mount Olympus, Zeus now rules gods and men, with his wife Hera upholding justice, hospitality, oaths, and honesty to all under his domain.
By the way, this is already super helpful.
Yet, Zeus is a restless god, and while he holds high expectations for others, he does not keep those standards for himself, chiefly.
There we go. There it is. Somebody in chat just put honesty, and then there it is. There's the I make the rules, but I don't follow them.
Zeus is nearly infamous for several infidelities to his wife, which have resulted in dozens of children beget by other women, most famous of which are Hercules, Artemis, and Athena.
Oh, what Hercules is a break of wedlock kid.
Such wanton unfaithfulness is the source of great jealousy from Hera, though as king, Zeus...
I think I've heard about another one as well where Zeus cheated on Hera, and I can't remember what Hera is the goddess of, but she was able to stop the person giving birth. I don't know if the intent was like the baby would grow and then kill Hera, or if it was just to spite her that she had to like stay in labor for longer than you should, or whatever it was. There was something like that.
Can ultimately do
That's Apollo and Artemis. Okay, right, cool. Yeah, it mentioned that in the audiobook. Oh, let me go back a little bit.
Zeus can ultimately do as he wishes.
And then abilities.
His passive is called...
So I don't need any of that. I've just, that's that. That's the next one. Here's Hera. All right, let's find out Hera's deal. Hercules is the Roman name, by the way. It's actually Heracles. Cool. Good to know.
Welcome to the Smite God reveal for Hera, Queen of the Gods.
I don't know why the audio's going plucky.
From the summit of Mount Olympus, she has watched the gods and pantheons, their triumphs.
Pantheon, you say? Genuinely, what is the actual definition of the word pantheon? Like, what is it? What does it mean? Pantheon definition. I feel like I should know that if I'm joining the SMP called it. It's a temple dedicated to all gods of a religion, or the collective group of all gods within a specific culture's mythology. Right. So the word comes from the Greek pantheon, which literally translates to of or common to all gods. Interesting.
Their follies. She watched as the legends of Zeus, of Hercules, and all the others were etched into history. The world has descended into calamity, and she can watch no longer. Now, the time has come for the legend of Hera to be written.
Is Peacock's big
By
in her thing,
side,
or what?
Argus, her champion, the indomitable agent of her will and vengeance. Through her
Wait, what was the name of that
charisma
person?
written. By her side, Argus, her champion.
By her side, is it saying artist or is it saying something else?
The indomitable agent of her will and vengeance. Through her charisma and skill, Hera has rallied
Artist.
great heroes
Argus, okay.
and whole armies to follow her. Yet she is no distant general. Hera is queen of the gods, born of the Titans, and any who cross her shall know her justice firsthand.
So are Hera and Zeus technically siblings, or what? I'm assuming so.
While the
There
other
was only about 3 people in existence at that point.
gods are
Also, does chaos exist? And by that I mean chaos was around before there was anything, but does chaos have a form, or is it more just like a being?
masters of lightning, or fire, or death. Hera is master of divinity itself. She can reshape nature, including her foes, and she will hold nothing back as she steps forth upon the battleground of the gods. For the Queen of the Gods has come at last, and she has come to rule.
Damn. All right, cool. So some of these are going to be shorter than others for the lore bit. Who are we up to next? We're up to Poseidon. All right, hit me with it. God reveal. Oh my god, it's Jason
Welcome
Momoa.
to the Smite God reveal for Poseidon, god of the oceans. Deep beneath the turbulent tides of the ocean lingers a god of idle rage. What must it be like to live forever in the shadow of your brother, to be denied again and again that which you desire, despite the power of the wrathful seas at your command? So Poseidon broods on his throne at the ocean floor. As a child, Poseidon and his brother Hades were consumed by their father, Kronos. Powerless to escape,
Okay,
it
so
was
wait,
left
hold on. So we've got... Who's Kronos a kid of again? Kronos is a kid of Gaia and Uranus. Then you've got Zeus and Poseidon beneath that. Hera's their sister. Zeus and Hera hook up. So who's Poseidon with? Is he with Hestia, Demeter? Like...
to mighty Zeus to free them and slay their patron. Together, they defeated the last of the Titans and ushered in a new age of dominance for Olympian gods. But their freedom, their very lives, Zeus would never let either brother forget were owed to him. Even as the heavens, the underworld, and the seas were divided among them, Zeus positioned himself as king of all. And what was Poseidon to do but be thankful he had been spared a fate in his father's belly? So he retired to his new realm and began the pursuit of gathering worshippers. Now, with the very tides at his command, an army of sea beasts at his back, and the formidable Kraken at his call, glowering god of the deep seeks to quench his thirsty rage and plunge all the world in endless, wrathful seas.
Damn. And then transition into
In
the
Smite,
abilities.
Poseidon.
Okay, sure. I don't think I ever played Smite back in the day. I've never been a big 3-lane kind of guy. You know what I mean? Right, we got Heracles next.
Welcome to the Smite God reveal for Hercules, the champion of Rome.
They have a solo lane, which is lots of fun. What, as in like ARAM?
Brave Hercules, a demigod son of Jupiter, born with impossible strength and force of will, for whom no task is insurmountable, no heroic deed unachievable. Yet, like all of Jupiter's illegitimate children, Hercules once drew
Wait,
the...
Jupiter's illegitimate children? Hold on. Who are Hercules' parents? Was it Zeus and... In the classic mythology, Heracles is the son of the god Zeus and the mortal princess Alcmene. Oh, Jupiter is Roman Zeus. Oh, okay. I'll see. This is where I'm going to start getting confused here.
once drew the ire of Juno, and though he is now known...
But this is good to do this live with people who know what they're talking about, because then you can help me click pieces together.
As a hero, his greatest achievements might never have been accomplished without Juno's initial tragic
Yeah, because they're calling them
involvement.
Hercules, they'll use the
She
Roman
struck
names.
Hercules mad, and he slew his own children. Once recovered, grief-stricken, Hercules sought penance for his crimes. An oracle of Jupiter advised he should pledge his service to the king Eurystheus, and so Hercules reluctantly did so. Jealous of the demigod, the king set him to 12 impossible tasks, expecting him to fail at the first time. But time after time, year after year, Hercules performed what could not be done, earning fame, glory, and the peace he so
Squelchy
desperately
sounds.
sought.
Jesus. Okay, so Heracles hasn't got crazy amount going on. What's that? That's Hercules again.
A demigod son of Jupiter, born with impossible strength and force of will,
I think this
for
style is
whom no
probably better.
task is insurmountable,
Don't know why
no
there's two,
heroic
though.
deed unachievable. Yet, like all of Jupiter's illegitimate children, Hercules once drew the ire of Juno, and though he is now known as a hero, his greatest achievements might never have been accomplished without Juno's initial tragic involvement. She struck Hercules mad, and he slew his own children. Once recovered, grief-stricken, Hercules sought penance
Heracles
for
killed
his
his own
crimes. An oracle of Jupiter advised he should pledge his service to the...
Heracles killed his wife, Megara. Oh, is that Megan bloody in the Hercules movie? Everyone's favorite Disney princess. Ah. And their children in a fit of temporary madness induced by the goddess Hera. So wait, induced by his... Oh, no, it's not his mum. Is that his auntie? Is Hera... No, Hera's further... Oh, wait, no, wait, because Zeus had... So Zeus had Hercules with a mortal, and then Hera was his... I mean, I don't even think stepmom, right? I don't imagine they even had that kind of relationship. Damn. So yeah, stepmom / auntie.
King Eurystheus, and so Hercules reluctantly did so. Jealous of the demigod, the king set him to 12 impossible tasks, expecting him to fall at the first.
But year
time
after year.
time, year after
So it's
year,
somewhat the same script.
Hercules performed what could not be done, earning fame, glory, and the peace
Wealth,
he so
fame,
desperately
power.
sought.
Gold Roger achieved this and more. All right, cool. Heracles, check. Next up, Achilles.
Across the stormy seas and salted beach, King Agamemnon
Oh, wait, so did they have... Oh, no, I thought maybe they had two different ones.
brought his fury to bear against gilded Troy. Arrows of war pierced the sky and rained down on the Greek soldiers as they sieged the great city. But none fell the famed warrior Achilles. Bathed as a babe in the river Styx by his Nereid mother,
So
Achilles...
what is the river Styx? Because that comes up a lot whenever I'm like looking stuff up. Let me have a look. River Styx. Is that in the underworld? Is that Hades' territory? In Greek mythology, the river Styx, the primary boundary separating the realm of the living from the underworld. Right. Okay, so it is literally like a film. It's both a physical river that the dead must cross to enter the afterlife, and a powerful goddess who personifies hatred. Oh, wait, so Styx is a god herself. The ferryman, newly deceased souls must be ferried across dark waters by Charon, a grim boatman, to ensure their souls are not left stranded on the shores to wander as ghosts. The living traditionally buried their dead with a coin placed in the mouth of the deceased to pay the toll. Oh. Interesting, because I know some time periods or religions, they put the coins on the eyes and stuff. The Styx is famously featured in the myth of Achilles. His mother, Thetis, dipped the infant Achilles into the river's magical waters to make him invulnerable to weapons, which I've probably just spoiled in this. Because she held him by his heel, that single spot was left untouched by water, remaining his only weakness, which is why you now have the saying, an Achilles heel. Right. Oh, this is quite cool. Yeah, I like this.
His hide was hardened, impervious to all and everything. Through every charge, every death-defying battle, Achilles was at the fore. Troy hung poised to crumble. Eventually, Achilles sought battle with the great Trojan hero Hector and defeated him. Paris, bereft by his brother's death, let arrows loose on Achilles. Straight and true, the arrow flew and harpooned his heel.
Even back in the Greek times, they had taken an arrow to the knee, an equivalent
Where
of it.
Achilles' mother had held him as a babe, his weakness found, Achilles met his end. A decade passed, and from Hades' depths, Achilles has been drawn. Armored from head to heel, revenge his only aim. Gods and men will tremble at the wrath of the man that cannot be harmed.
So he just wears big ass boots. Well, all of that, and he just wore sandals. Bro could have lived forever if he just worn sandals. That's nuts. Right. Ares. That's the thing. It's even the pronunciation of these I need to learn.
for Ares, the god of war. Feared by
Is there
his
2 videos
enemies,
for this?
reviled by
No.
his father, adored by the goddess of beauty, and worshipped by warriors. Ares, a tortured and lonely soul, is the bloodthirsty Greek god of war.
Is there any correlation to the astrology sign Aries and this god, or?
Ares is not loved by the people. He represents everything they fear and despise: war, strife, chaos, and murder. It's said that the sky darkens when Ares takes the field, that he rides to battle on a chariot drawn by fire-breathing steeds, and delights only in the clash of battle and smell of bloodshed. Ares is loved only by the Spartans, who revere the god for his masculinity, his merciless warrior spirit, and tenacity against all odds. The Spartans, however, know the unpredictable fury of their patron and bind his statues in chains. This is, in part, to prevent Ares' spirit of victory from escaping Sparta, and a vain effort to keep the god of war contained.
So pretty basic as far
In
as they go
Smite,
so far.
Ares is a Malay magical tank.
Next, Mercury, messenger of the gods. So is Mercury the Roman name for that other one? Oh, it's Roman Hermes. Okay. But the story's still the same? What is the reasoning for having different names for them if the stories are seemingly...
Welcome to the Smite God
duplicated?
reveal for Mercury, messenger of the gods.
Because the Romans needed to be a lot more creative. Translation: when Rome became
In
grander than the
Smite,
ancient
Mercury
Greece.
moves in the blink of an eye as a melee physical assassin.
Can we not get a story bit? Oh, okay, here we go.
Mercurial, a word that evokes volatility, quickness, and cunning. But to compare anything to the speed and wit of the messenger
I'd love to have something like this done for my hero, like at the start of the SMP.
god Mercury would be to compare a hot day to the searing forge of Vulcan, or a blooming rose to the glory of Venus. It is but a pale comparison. Mercury can leap the space between lightning and thunder, outfox the Fox King, and reach tomorrow before the sun.
I know it says outfox the Fox King. Is there an actual Fox King in Greek mythology? Fox King, Greek mythology. Who is it? In Greek, there is no single Fox King, but rather a legendary beast known as the Temesian Fox.
As an infant, Mercury escaped the watchful eye of his half-brother Apollo, stole his cattle,
Wait,
fashioned
hold on, rewind.
tomorrow before the sun. As an infant, Mercury escaped the watchful eye of his half-brother Apollo, stole his cattle, fashioned a lyre from a tortoiseshell,
So he's related to Apollo. And then who else is Apollo related to?
and snuck in a nap, all before Apollo found him missing. His father
I need that family tree that you sent me, Draz, but like even further down. You know what I mean? See all the layers.
Jupiter found the
Artemis is Apollo's twin sister. Right, okay.
child's mischief boisterously entertaining.
Oh, wait, so, hold on.
Shell and his half-brother Apollo.
Oh,
stole his
half brother. Okay, I see. So, does
cattle.
does Hermes have any siblings? Hermes siblings. Let's have a look. Hermes has Penelope, apparently. Athena, Apollo, Eris, and Aphrodite, apparently. And Dionysus.
And a lyre from a tortoise shell and snuck in a nap, all before Apollo found him missing. His father Jupiter found the child's mischief boisterously entertaining and awarded him the task of delivering messages for the gods, traveling between the heavens, the earth, and even to the depths of the underworld. Now war looms, and Mercury races to keep the lines of communication open, though he is often caught in the thick
The
of
Wikipedia
battle.
page for
No
the Olympian
stranger
gods
to
has the tree.
combat, he once slew the monster Argus, the demon with
Olympian.
100
Oh, wait, Draz has
watchful
sent me it. Yeah,
eyes,
there we go.
using speed and
Oh, that's a
guile
big boy.
alone. But this war is different.
Look at it,
The
fucking hell.
foes
I'll pull it up
are
on screen in a
stronger.
second.
The stakes
higher, and Mercury, a pivotal cog in the machine. Should he fail to deliver even a single order, the balance could tip, and the time left for this world...
Hold on, let me just play this music. Here we go. Right, so here we go then. So, Chaos. Bam, that's the start. Tartarus, Gaia, Eros, Erebus, and Nyx. I don't think I've ever heard of anything to do with Erebus, and Eros, I think, was new to me today. Then, you've got... So what's this offshoot line here? So this line just here, are they children of Erebus and Nyx, or because this would imply that it's almost Nyx's kids, children of Nyx. Okay, born just from Nyx. Okay, but when it's a dotted line, they're born from both parents. So are Aether and Hemera children of Nyx and Erebus? Okay. And then... So does that mean that Gaia... Wait, did Gaia make Aurea and Pontus on her own? Thanatos doesn't have a dad. Where's Thanatos? I don't even see him on the screen. Oh, there. Oh gosh, wait. Oh god, is even this extra line? All of these are Nyx's kids. Aging, death, distress, deceit, strife, sleep. Jesus. So what's like the lowest level of all of this? I mean, Dionysus is really quite low. Heracles as well is down there. How is Eros back again? Or is that a new naming of Eros? Good God. Jesus. All right. That might be done for today. I think maybe looking at that has overwhelmed me. I'm immediately feeling out of my depth. But I will just continue to learn and figure stuff out. But there you go. There is me watching the Bannerfall SMP panel from TwitchCon Rotterdam 2026, as well as checking out the Pantheon SMP trailer, and then also beginning to have a look at a load of Greek mythology stuff, which is pretty cool. So I like it. Maybe I'll try watching the Percy Jackson series, not movie, just so we're aware. I'll keep playing Hades when I'm not playing Mina the Hollower, and then I will also keep listening to Mythos as well on Audible. So yeah, I'll figure it all out. We'll figure it out as we go. Let's find somebody to raid, shall we? Let's see who's live right now. Also, have we had any update on like the cape stuff yet? Like, are they doing more capes or nah? Oh wow, there's loads of people back on the flight today. Holy shit. Let's go raid Roscumber. Let's go say hello to Ros. Seeing as she won a crafting award and all that. Let's go do that. Stream manager. Raid Roscumber. I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow. Only because we're recording Dungeon Delivery tomorrow. So it's about how late that runs. But we'll see. You got a cape code last night somehow. Yeah, so I'm wondering... Oh, you know what? I've got one right now as well. Oh, okay. Maybe they restocked them on Twitch. All right, ignore me. I've got my cape code. I guess I'm going to go redeem that in a second. Lovely. But yeah, enjoy Rod's stream. Have a wonderful night. I'll be back tomorrow, potentially. Worst case, I'll be back on Friday. And maybe we'll do some Flight SMP, which would be lovely. And yeah. Have a great night, and maybe at some point this week as well, we will sit down and watch Epic the Musical together. Should we do that? I feel like that could be a good one. Maybe that could be like a Saturday stream or something. But yeah, have a great night. Look after yourselves. Drink a bunch of water as well. Even though it's cooled down now, don't let up on the water intake. Keep up the same pace. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.